up, everybody? It's good to see ya. What up, everybody? It's great to see ya. Happy Taco Tuesday morning. We got LA City Council about to start any moment. Should be good today, guys, actually. I think it's going to be a packed house. I think today they are trying to codify or ratify making into LA City Council into a sanctuary city, which it pretty much already is. But yeah, that way the incoming people can't do anything about, deportation and stuff like that. So, hey, I'm all for it. And for the people that vote for it, they should be able to each take an entire family into their house, which not one of them will do. Not one. Not one. There won't be one immigrant, not one illegal alien brought into anybody's home, especially by the people that say they love them so much and support them. Not one. Not one. I'm wrong, show me. Because I've already seen the videos where, yes, of course I believe in you, and nobody's illegal. Oh, okay, I got my 3 friends here from Ecuador. We need a place for them to stay. Well, they can't stay here. Well, why not? Well, why not? So yeah, any moment now we shall see it. I'm guessing it shall be a packed house, standing room only. You'll have some people on it. Most of the people will be for it. Some will be against it. And, yeah, I think that's where we'll be at, man. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Jasmine, for letting everybody know, and I appreciate everybody who has taken the time to give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much to you. You guys are awesome. And thank you to the person who sent me the 2 shirts. It didn't have any tag. Anybody who I like it moist? I do. I do like my turkey moist. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah. Is De Leon still there? I don't know. He lost his seat, that's for sure. And the incoming communist, who already is telling you fuck the police and this, that, and the other, she's waiting in the wings. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her today for the first time. I don't think so. One would assume that it's probably towards the end of the year, but I could be wrong. We shall see. The Hala City of Squala, that's it. You got your notification? That's good, Mike. It's good to see YouTube finally doing their job for all the money they get. Because it's essentially what I'm doing. I'm paying to be on the site, and I'm paying for their notifications to work. Paying them 30% just to allow me to be here. So the least they could do is have the shit work right. But I get it. A lot of these companies have a bunch of dildos working for them. Don't know their asses from their elbows. Communist dildos who don't like it. Shell, thank you so much. Shell, how come, did you not put a little, because I know sometimes, Amazon will put a little, square note in there saying it's from Michelle, it's from Bob, it's from Damon. You know what I mean? And it didn't. And funny enough as it is, I got 2 packages. I got both the shirts you sent me. And again, thank you so much, Shell. And somebody else sent me something too. And again, nothing. That's what sucks, because I can't say thank you. I don't know who it is. So, Amazon, if you're watching, it'd be really nice if you could just put those little things in there. Especially when it's a gift. You know what I mean? Unless they're trying to send it like a Secret Santa kind of something. I get that too. I do get that. So, let me get a little coffee here. Thank you again, Shell. I appreciate it. I'm going to wear the other one for Thanksgiving, Shell. Sure everybody will love it. What's up, Electric? You're on hold now? It's great to see you, Brock. Fucking Brock is in the house.
A law enforcement type of guy who is hired by people to stop these bad individuals.
Shout out to Brock, man. Started it all. All because of Brock. You're on hold to announce the Smoke and Scan Sanctuary City adoption plan. Yeah, man, I'm fucking ready. I'm ready. Did I see the rescue this morning? I did. I was watching it very briefly. Yeah, a lot of people get stuck in those tunnels. Dangerous, man. Especially when the kids are out there at the beach digging tunnels. It's happened many times. That shit doesn't hold up. You build this big hole and all of a sudden it's... And then you get buried and you can't get out. And it's quick as fuck. Like that. So very dangerous. Holes can be very dangerous. Some holes. Even those holes can be dangerous.
Hey, don't be scared. It's only pussy.
Is Tiffany on tonight, Stu Gods? I might think so. I'm gonna have to check into it. If anybody knows, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that it's not Dalton. I know that. If anything, it would be the Thornton Township meeting tonight. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's what it said in the first blurb. It said it was a worker. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I was just watching it for a moment. It was a homeless lady refusing to come out. Ah, makes sense. See? So there you go. I mean, we've had those plenty of times, though, where you have a legitimate worker in there. And, dude, it happened last week. Yeah, that's what it said in the first blurb. It happened last week or so. A kid was killed. They were working on bleachers, those collapsible bleachers in high school gymnasiums. Those things came apart and it smashed two of them and killed one of them. Tiffany's going to jail, huh? Well, tonight? I want to know. Yeah, don't be scared. Homeless lady, huh? Shit, yeah, man. I'm all about it. She was down there sleeping. She was sleeping. What's up, BJ? How are you? It's good to see you. She takes the seat December 9th. Sorry, I didn't see that. BJ says December 9th will be the day that the newest incoming communist takes her seat. Yeah, she's a real piece of shit. I can tell already. She'll be no different. She'll be the polar opposite of De Leon. In the sense that he was racist against people, she'll be racist against the police, and you can guarantee motherfucking T anywhere she goes out and about, or as at some meeting, I assure you, she'll have LAPD there watching her as security, and we'll be paying for it, even though she fucking hates them so much. So she should have her brothers or her dad or her boyfriend or whoever show up and protect her. Maybe that's what should be done since she hates police so much. You know what I mean? And we're fucking paying for it. So, yeah. What's up, Status Quo? Every hole is dangerous. The black holes, all of them. What's up, D-Boy? What's up, Jeffy? What's up, Kite High? So, yeah, we'll see any moment now. These ding-dongs should start. It's 10:16. They should have started a few minutes ago. So, any moment now. Thornton Township meeting is tomorrow. 2 members are not showing up in protest. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We always have something going on. 2 Thornton Township trustees plan to skip Tuesday night's board meeting amid ongoing issues with embattled Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Hinyard. Thornton Township trustees Christopher Gonzalez, which is the one that we were talking to last time with the glasses I told you doesn't like her. She was on the bottom level, he was on the top level. They didn't want to go to each other's levels to do the meeting. That guy. Carmen Carlos are also going to great lengths to stall movement. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. All right, we'll read that. Thank you, BJ.
Okay, let's get started with the meeting.
Why does it already sound like we're underwater?
Get started with the meeting. Wonderful. Good morning. Welcome to the meeting of your...
Bro, it sounds like they're underwater.
Today is Tuesday, November 19th. We're going to take public comment both in person and in the council chambers.
It just keeps getting worse.
Let's officially get this meeting.
Come on, bro. You had hours to fix this DEI sound guy who's actually standing up. See him in the corner over there? Look at the guy in the top right. Standing up in the black hoodie.
Oscar, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez,
Yaroslavsky,
11 members present in a quorum.
DEI sound, baby.
Business.
Approval of the minutes
all day
of
he had to
November
fix
8,
that.
2024.
Okay.
Thank you, Van Spear. I shall give him treats. Thank you so much for the nice dono. Let's go. Thank you, Van Spear.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
And hope you have a great Thanksgiving week as well. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your fam.
Mr. President, today's Tuesday. It's time for the flag salute.
If I
Jalden,
could ask everyone to
Jalden,
stand
thank you
to
so
rise
much
for the
for the
flag
Twitch Prime for
salute.
13
Councilman
months.
Foster, please,
Let's go.
lead us
Thank you
in.
so much. I appreciate you, Jalden. And of course, welcome back for more time.
Again,
Why didn't we even
I
hear
pledge
her
allegiance
mic?
to the flag of the United States.
Who
of
is this
America,
guy?
and to the republic
Who is it? Who
which
hired this
stands
audio
one
idiot?
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I mean, bro,
Send with
this is like a fucking. It's like a high school fucking
we
pep rally with
run
bad
through the
fucking
agenda,
audio.
Councilwoman Hernandez, I know you have a special guest who is here today. If you could introduce her.
Thank you, Van Spear.
Thank
I
you so much,
appreciate
Council
you.
President. Good morning, colleagues. It brings me great joy and honor to be able to bring in our newly elected colleague representing Council District 14, Councilwoman-elect Isabel Jurado, to join us today.
Be careful, Katie. Be careful. I'll kick you out of there. I don't care. Look at her all trying to get all gussied up.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Hernandez.
That's the idiot.
I'm so
That's her.
excited to
That's
be
the new
here.
commie.
It's very real now, isn't it? So thank you for welcoming me.
That's the cop-hating
and
cunt.
I appreciate it. I'm ready to get to work. So see you soon.
Good. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank
You
you,
ain't
Council
working
President.
yet.
Congratulations.
Old
And
DeLeon, they
let's-
already
let's
tossed
continue.
DeLeon out of the way. Get out of here, DeLeon.
Yes,
Bye.
Mr. President. There
She
are
really needs to
several
put the mask back
requests
on.
to continue items 5, 6, and
Never
7
said that in my life.
are to be continued to December 4th, 2024.
I hate her already.
And there is a request to continue items 17 as well as 53.
I'll
through
check it out later,
December
Katie.
3rd,
Be careful.
2024.
HOAs are.
Furthermore, there are
You're already on their radar now.
there is a request to hold item
Yeah, Jess
30.
Dabs.
52 and 54 on the desk, sir.
Maybe in the next
Okay,
10 minutes
without
I'll get it ready.
objection, that would
Fixed.
be the order.
Considering he had all morning to get it done.
Items 1 through 12
All you have to do is tell
are
somebody to
items
walk over to a
noticed for
mic
public
and listen
hearing.
to them talking
For
through it.
item number 6,
not hard.
the correct
All right, everybody.
representative is Melanie Perez Baker. Items 13 through 30 are items which public hearings have been held. For item
Yeah,
27,
Jalden.
the corrected public
what I was
safety
talking about.
committee report is
I told you, they won't be
under
alive very
council
soon.
File 22-0766-S2. Items 31 through 59
But
are
I can tell you YouTube's doing the same thing, and YouTube was ahead of them. YouTube had this very same problem in 2017, stopped it, okay, by 2019, and now YouTube's doing what they're doing. Look at the numbers right now on YouTube for us. Why is it that way? Because, again, these are all Democrats, every single one of them on the seat. You don't have to get mad at it. It is just an absolute positive fact that every single one on this horseshoe are all Democrats. There's 0 Republicans in this room, okay, that are in power. The largest donor to the Democratic Party is Google. Who owns YouTube? That'd be Google. So that's why when I put up LA City Clowncil, they don't like me making fun of their friends. And that's why nobody's in here. That's why most of you aren't getting your notifications, and that's how it's working. So that's how they do you.
To December 3rd.
And we still can't fix the audio.
And I'd like to call items 29 and 52 for comments.
Because again, they want you to know that we're going to choose what you get to watch. Not you.
items
You're not
29
choosing it.
and 52.
Thank you, Shell. Appreciate you. And thank you again, Shell, for the
Okay.
shirts.
Also, Mr. President, real quick, there are 2 requests
Thank
to
you, Nun.
continue item 1
Thank
to
you,
December
Nun, yeah.
13th
Nun,
and
yeah.
continue item 8 to December 3rd, sir.
Item 8 to December 3rd.
So that's how it
Yes.
works. Well, Amazon's owned by Bezos, and they're trying to do the same thing, and that's the problem. Anything that's anything politically charged, anything that has to do with guns or ammo, anything that has to do with like what I do.
I'd like to call item 48
They all
special,
we might be
and
gone
the attorney
soon.
has the language
So enjoy every show.
for an amendment.
Okay.
So I believe, yes, this is for item number 48. The
Cubby,
amendment
thank you
reads,
so much,
I move
Bianca,
that
you
item
rock.
Number 48 on today's council agenda be amended with the
Thank
the
you,
below
Bianca.
change to recommendation number 1. And the only change is that it is deleting $255,105, and replacing it with $320,105.
Gumball.
Okay.
The cat.
Is there a second?
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to-
Thank you, Bianca. That's
Second.
awesome.
Okay. Next is Councilmember Hernandez.
President, I would like to call items 24 and 27 special for a separate vote.
Well,
I have
Twitch is
comments
owned
for
by
item
Amazon.
50, and I have an amendment for item 52. The city attorney has a copy.
Amazon's
of the record.
owner
sorry,
really
you
is
said comments
Bezos,
on item
although
50, and
Bezos
what was
doesn't
the
own
first
as
item?
many shares as Vanguard does. So I don't know how you want to look at it, but whatever. You understand what I'm getting at.
I'm sorry, council member. We didn't catch your separate vote items. Can you please repeat what you said?
24 and 27.
24 and 27 are separate votes, and the amendment.
We can wait.
So
on
stay
that.
tuned.
52.
Hi,
Amendment
people.
on 52
45
that
months,
can wait.
people.
Thank you.
Oh, gnarly.
Next,
Nice,
Councilmember
people.
Martinez.
45
so much, Council
months.
President. I have an amendment for item 59, which I believe the clerk has to read into the record.
Welcome back, people. City clerk needs to put her mask back on. I
Yes,
never said that.
The amendment reads that
She
I
needs
move
to.
that item number 59 on today's
looks
council
better with the
agenda
mask.
be amended as follows. Replace recommendation 2E with the following. 2. Authorize the general manager of CIFD or designee. 2E. Retroactively reinstate and amend the expired domestic violence employment navigator contracts with
Come over,
Jeunesse
King.
Center, Inc. Contract number 142710 and Haven Hills, Inc. Contract number C-142727 from June 30th,
It's your birthday,
2024
Veepool?
for a new contract end date of December 31st, 2024, subject to the approval of the city attorney as to form and legality,
Oh, man.
and to the extent any services have been provided or performed by Jeunesse Center Incorporated and Haven Hills Incorporated.
Happy birthday,
in accordance
Veepool.
with the terms and conditions of the occupancy agreement. Those services are hereby ratified.
Happy
Is there a second
birthday,
to
you
this motion?
thing from another world, you.
Happy birthday, Veepool.
From the second.
Happy birthday!
Enjoy your day.
Okay.
Hopefully you get some
Colleagues,
good
any
food
additional?
up in you.
Item 14, I'm going to ask
Welcome,
that we move
Mills.
the BFI report for item 14.
Bro, it's getting
Is
worse.
there a second to that verbal motion?
Just to move the BFI report.
I don't think I've ever heard their audio so bad.
Is it not clear? Okay. Okay. Colleagues, any additional comments?
Never
Vote
heard it.
items. Okay.
It
Seeing
is
none,
straight
what's
fishbowl
the
audio.
vote?
Never heard it this bad. And you got the news
We're
there.
working on the issue.
You notice the news cameras in the back, right?
Yeah,
You see him? Look, he's filming right now. Guy in the beige against the
Mr.
pillar.
President, 29 needs to also be held.
Make
on
him
the
look
desk.
stupid
Okay,
in
thank
front of
you.
the news. I love it.
Okay. We'll hold 29.
Not that we
without
needed
objection.
this to make them look
So
stupid.
what's
They
available
look
to vote?
stupid every day.
Mr. President, council may now vote on 13, 15, 16, 18 through 23, 25, 26, and 28, sir.
Yeah, it's got like reverb
Okay.
and echo in
Those
there.
items are now before us. Any members wish to be
Hot.
heard? Seeing no members on the queue. Oh, hold up.
I mean, bro, I'd be frantically turning buttons at
Just
this
a
point.
clarification on the item numbers.
It's fucking terrible. Fucking
Ready,
terrible.
sir.
Notice how her mic's so much different than his, right? You noticed that, right? But it still didn't sound right.
Okay, we ready?
Uh,
Numbers are the same. Okay, let's open the roll.
He turned the
Close
right
the
knob.
roll, and tally the votes.
12 eyes.
Starting to get there.
Okay,
Hotter.
those items are agreed to.
Hotter.
What's next?
Next
Hotter.
would be
Hotter.
the items that are separate votes.
Thank you,
Public
Kenneth.
hearing was held, and that would be items 24 as well as
That's it, Kenneth.
27, sir.
You're gonna see the
Okay, those were called for separate votes. Is that right?
My Santa
Or no?
hats are
Yes,
coming
sir.
out soon.
24 and 27.
My
Separate
Hanukkah
votes.
hat.
Okay,
my
let's
Santa
start with
hat.
24.
It's all coming out.
Anyone wish to be heard? Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll.
Got the ugly Christmas sweater.
Is that not correct?
I'm all ready.
Yes.
Okay, let's open the roll on 24. Close the roll. And tally the votes.
Give her some lovin'.
10 ayes,
Throw
2
glitter.
noes.
Bang her out.
And then
That
for
measures-
27,
You gotta wear a mask,
sir,
though.
is also another separate vote item.
Okay, any members wish to be heard on 27? Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll.
I'll do it, bro, but two ways. Either
Close the roll and
Either
tally
she's
the
got to
votes.
wear her mask, or I've got to be
ayes, 2
blindfolded.
Okay, that measure is agreed. What's next?
Next would be items 60 and 61. Those are closed session items considered by the Budget and Finance and Innovation Committee.
Hanukkah starts on Christmas
And
Day
as
this
budget
year.
chair, I can
Oh,
say
man,
that those
it's
members
late.
those items were considered
So it's
by
gonna
the
be a
committee,
Hanukkah Christmas show.
and we agreed to the city
Thanks,
attorney's
PJ.
recommendations and recommend that we can hear these in open session. So, unless there is an objection, let's move forward and open the roll.
Mr.
Funny how the
President,
audio's
may I
gotten
read the
better.
settlement amount,
Yes,
sir?
thank you.
Item 60, in the case entitled Byung Myung Lee versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $226,572 in settlement.
What?
Item 61, in the case entitled Patience LaDon Clark versus Alfonso Chavez et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $625,000 in settlement.
We will, shall we will. We shall do both. We could do half and
Okay,
half
let's
show.
open the roll.
Half Hanukkah, half Christmas.
Close the roll. Tally the vote.
Ooh, a merry half miss.
12 ayes.
Okay, those items are agreed to. What's next?
Next, council may go into presentations, sir.
What's up, Michael?
Great, and I believe we have a special presentation.
Congratulations on the start
Councilman
time for the new
Yaroslavsky is
job.
going to lead.
So I'm talking about, Michael. Get it.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. Before we begin, I do have the amendment for item number 52. If you'd
Great.
like me
If
to
you could read that into the record while they're making their way to the podium.
Yes, of
It's
course.
good stuff, bud.
So the amendment reads that I move that item 52 on today's council agenda be amended. I'm sorry. I move that item number 52 on today's council agenda that the city attorney be requested to amend the draft ordinance as follows. 1. Add, and I quote, immigration enforcement, end quote, as a defined term to match the definition of California Government Code section 72.
Trump-proof.
4, subsection F, and use this defined term as the basis for the limitations on the use of city resources imposed throughout section 19.191.
He's going to use the National Guard and the Army. Doesn't
Require
matter.
all city employees to treat city data and information that can be used to distinguish or trace a person's
LAPD,
citizenship
just watch it all
or
happen.
immigration status, either on its own or when combined with other information as confidential information to the extent permitted by law, and require employees to handle, maintain, and secure such information according to city policy. 3. Clarify that nothing in the ordinance is intended to prohibit or otherwise restrict the city from complying with a valid warrant issued by a federal or state judge or other order evidencing a judicial determination of probable cause. 4. Amend section 19.191, subsection B, to read as follows. B. Investigate, cite, arrest, hold, transfer, or detain any person for the purpose of immigration enforcement. 5. Amend section 19.191, subsection E, to delete the phrase, and I quote, absent informed written consent from person in custody, end quote. I further move that item 52 on today's city council agenda be amended as follows. That the city council direct the chief legislative analyst, with the assistance of any other city departments as needed, to report back within 60 days with recommendations for reviewing compliance with this ordinance on an ongoing basis, including 1. A means of ensuring that all city departments, including the proprietary departments, the Department of Airports, the Harbor Department, and the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and the Los Angeles Police Department, can be compelled to adopt this same ordinance or similar ordinance containing all the same provisions. 2, a means of ensuring that all city departments, including the proprietary departments and the Los Angeles Police Department, are held to one uniform set of compliance standards, such as educating and training staff about the ordinance, identifying violations, and addressing incidents of violations of the ordinance. These recommendations should include any resources and/or staffing needed to effectuate these responsibilities. And is there a second to this amendment?
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to make it hard for the federal government to do their job to take out illegal immigrants.
And now we will
That's
move
really
to
what it boils
the
down to.
presentation. Councilwoman Yaroslavsky, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to
Make it
stand here
hard.
today to present the Human Security Resolution alongside Aziza Hassan, who's the Executive Director of Newground, and Umar Hakim Day, who's the Executive Director of Encourage Foundation, the Civil and Human Rights Department, and so many community and faith
Is he
leaders
sleeping over there?
who
This
I'm
guy right
honored
here.
to know and call friends. Living and working in a city as dynamic as Los Angeles, we're constantly reminded of both the beauty and the complexity of our shared lives.
Holy shit! You see the
It's
guy on the
easy to
right
notice the differences that
with the
exist
head wrap
between us, our backgrounds,
and the
beliefs,
goatee?
traditions.
Oh my
Some of those differences are real, and they're part of
Wow.
what makes Los Angeles and our country so extraordinary. But just as real are the values and experiences that we share that are common to all of us. Through multi-faith meetings and community discussions over the past year plus, we've had the chance to hear from leaders and
What's up,
residents
Jason?
across the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, Shell just
These
got me the shirt.
conversations reaffirmed
great.
that while diversity makes us strong, it's the universal principles that connect us to what it means to be human. The need to live without fear, to have our basic needs met, and to worship freely. This resolution is about celebrating our commitment to both, the richness of our diversity and the shared rights and responsibilities that bring us together. I want to thank Umar and Aziza, the Civil Rights Department, and all the faith and community
Swami
leaders who
Gandalf?
contributed to this
Is that his
effort.
name?
Your commitment has been a source of inspiration and a reminder of what's possible when we come together.
Cameraman didn't
when
want
we
to show
choose
him.
to look
Oh,
for
there
the
he is.
common bonds that bring us together rather than what divides us. I'd like to turn it over to Umar Hakim Day to say.
Look
a
at
few
Batman
words,
back
and
there.
then,
Look at
We're
Batman.
going to have an event up in the Tom Bradley room, so if you want to pop in, there's going to be a
Fucking
presentation of speakers
Batman.
and a panel.
Paging Mr.
It's gonna be
Herman.
awesome. So I'll turn it over to Umar.
We knew fucking Batman be there.
Check 1 2.
Check 1 2 1 2.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Allah being the proper Arabic word for God. Assalamu alaikum. I'd like to acknowledge Councilwoman Katie. Thank you. Zipper, Alan Zipper, Jamana, Aziza Hassan, Salam Ariati from Muslim Public Affairs Council. This is a really special day. I'd like to also talk about a small parable in Islam that reflects this moment that we're going through right now. So, in the days of Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, there was a stone, a black stone, that was so precious that the influential tribes of the city was arguing who's going to carry it in. So they said the next man who comes, or the next person who comes through that gate is going to help us resolve this situation. So it so happens to be Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. So he assessed the situation of all the influential tribes, just like we have many communities here today, and he thought about the objective. And he said, well, all the tribesmen that was there, he said, give me a sheet, and let's put this precious stone on this sheet. And each tribe, each community, grab a piece of this sheet and carry it in.
You can take a sheet.
So when you look at this human security resolution today, this is our sheet. Our humanity is the precious stone. And we're all gathered here today to carry this in, to take it to the next level, this multi-faith solidarity unit that you see here. So we basically, you could use this human security based on the 4 freedoms to align in your decision-making with your work. Freedom from want, freedom from fear, freedom of expression, and freedom of worship. These are all the essential divine rights that the Creator has bestowed on every man and woman and child in this city. And this is a win for the Angelenos in this city. Because a lot of times, I work in the streets of South Los Angeles and Compton, and a lot of Angelenos don't feel connected to City Hall. So once you give us a chance to be advocates for this human security, you have given us a chance to be advocates for this human security to be more connected with the city. So, this is all of us grabbing a piece of this sheet to carry our humanity to the next level. You are in our hands and we are in your hands. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm gonna pass it back to our councilwoman, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know what his buddies would think about the man in the pink over there.
I don't know if any of you have anything you want to say. Otherwise, I'll do the presentation and we'll head up.
Muslim
to the
buddies
Tom
probably wouldn't like him too much.
All right. So on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, thank you. I want to present this resolution.
Human security.
On behalf of all of us, to all of you, thank you for all the work you do in our communities every single day to make us all stronger. And we are, as we know, stronger together. So thank you. Thank you.
I don't know, your
Council
face doesn't say stronger together.
Thank you, Councilwoman Yaroslawski, and everyone who came in for this.
Look at Batman over there in the corner with the flag. With the flag hoodie. Fucking Herman's great. What a spin. Oh, my laser lady.
So
There's laser lady.
city
Look,
attorney
top
has
corner.
an announcement and then-
You can see a little bit of her face right there.
Go ahead.
Laser lady's back.
Yes, so with regards to item number 48, which is being amended
We got
by
two regulars,
Councilmember Padilla,
for sure.
I do recommend that we continue this to December 3rd.
I don't see anybody else.
Okay. Councilwoman Rahman.
But there's a lot of people in there. It's
So
hard to...
thank you so much. I was delighted to welcome our new colleague, Councilmember Isabel Jurado, this morning. I also wanted to welcome to the chambers a familiar face. Mr. Mike Bonin is here.
All right.
All right. All
We
right.
are delighted to have you back, Mike. It's a little less
right.
chaotic than when you were here. Just a little.
I think Mike Bonin is Black Boy Joy. Remember that guy?
Welcome, Mr. Bonin, and to the city attorney's announcements. Without
Remember Black
objection,
Boy Joy?
48 is continued. And then
Pretty sure that's
Councilwoman
Mike
Hutt.
Bonin.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. On item number 29, the council has before them two committee reports, the Public Works Report and the Transportation Committee Report. I'm recommending that council adopt the Public Works Report.
Okay,
And
Public Works report.
Is there a second to Councilmember Hutt's
Remember that one,
motion?
Randy?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and second it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And without objection, that'll be the order.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll be what comes before us. Okay, what's next on our agenda?
Next would be public comment, sir. Should I read in the call-in information?
Yes, please.
As indicated
Her
on
voice
the
is so
agenda,
sexy.
members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466.
It does,
Then press
JC.
pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once submitted to the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Again, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466, then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once submitted to the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak, either at the podium or on the phones, please state which of the agenda items.
What's up, Sween? Uh-oh. Now we've lost all audio. Fucking A, dude. Somebody take this idiot DEI sound guy out back and have your way with him. Holy shit. What an absolute dumb fuck. Kick the cord out. I don't know.
At that
Oh,
point,
there it
you
is.
need to get immediately
There it is.
and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or
Should
if
be
you again
ashamed
stray
of
off
himself,
topic,
bro.
you
Don't
will
call
forfeit the
yourself
rest of your
audiovisual
speaking
guy.
time, and
Don't.
we will move
Don't
on
do
to
it.
the next speaker.
Don't do it.
So for the items that are open for public comment, I'm going to ask that everybody listen carefully because
Must
there
be the
are a
janitor.
lot of them. The items that are open for
Who's
public
running the
comment
audiovisual
today on
or
the
something.
agenda are items 2 through 7, items 9 through 12, items 31 through 47,
fuck.
items 49 through 52, and items 54 through 59. So again, let me repeat. The items that are open for public comment on the agenda are items 2 through 7, 9 through 12, 31 through 47, 49 through 52, and items
I can put
54
those-
through 59.
I can put that on the closed
Items
caption.
1, 8, 17, 48, and 53 have all been continued so that they're not open for public comment today. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general
I do
public
like to
comment,
watch this thing
members
go
of the
off
public
when
may
Mr.
speak to
Herman
any of
speaks.
the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you do not do so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point, you need to immediately unmute yourself, or you'll unfortunately forfeit your speaking time, and we will have to move on to the next caller. Additionally, because of a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, two things are
I
important.
did an atomic mom.
First, while waiting for your turn to speak, please keep an ear to the phone so you know in real time when it is
Hi,
your
Lady
turn to
Red.
press *6 to unmute. Second, if you're listening to this meeting on another device, please turn down the volume on that device immediately when it's your turn to speak. Between the time delay and feedback,
should.
it will cause a great deal of confusion if you continue to
Take a
listen on your other
Sharpie,
devices.
Make a black heart.
One final announcement, and if I could have the interpreter make this to the entire room aloud. So if you require a Spanish language interpreter, please pause every few sentences so that our interpreter can do his or her job.
Like it,
Para
Lonnie?
las
Good to
personas
see
quienes
you.
requieren un intérprete para el español, por favor paren cada 2 o 3 frases para darle al intérprete una oportunidad de hacer su trabajo. Gracias.
And don't worry, we will pause your time while the interpreter is speaking, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else.
Cancel it, Miss
Y
Katz.
que
He
no se
won't be there.
preocupen porque le vamos a
Not as a
pausar el
councilman.
tiempo mientras el intérprete está hablando, entonces ustedes tendrán el mismo tiempo que las otras personas. Gracias.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with me. That's their audio dropping. Jonathan.
I will begin by
Not me.
calling a few names. Maria Gonzalez, Carla Aguayo, Nancy Mesa, Aurelie Hernandez, Anahai Cruz.
And Mike Cock.
And for members of the public who are here, when you hear your name called, feel free to line up on your left-hand side of the
Who
council
signed up
chambers.
as Smoke and
You
Scan?
do not
That's
need
what
to
I wanna
speak
know.
in the order in which your name is called. But
Someone
do please
signed up
wait
as Smoke
until
and
you
Scan.
hear
I don't know
Thank
who
you.
it was, but someone did. And if I ever go, that's what I'm signing up as. So you're the asshole. Yup. That's me. Connie
Good morning. If you could
Lingus.
Please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
My name is Anaí Cruz, and I'm here to speak on the sanctuary ordinance. I'm not sure what item number it is.
So that would be item 52. So you have
Got
1
it.
minute for item 52. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Anaí Cruz, and I am a constituent of CD11 and also a coalition coordinator for the Garment Workers Center. No city resources, property, or personnel should be used for immigration enforcement. Our membership in particular, they want to see a sanctuary city because they know that factory owners have and will continue to use the threats of calling ICE as a way to intimidate workers who come forward about workplace protections. Because the president-elect has promised mass deportations and immigrant communities know all too well the dehumanizing impacts of raids. I'm going to go off script a little bit here, but as a daughter of undocumented immigrants, the fear of deportation is always looming over my head and over my family's head. Every day, that fear continues, especially under this Trump administration that's coming towards us. And I really hope that I can be a part of a community that is leading to protections for undocumented immigrants and immigrants overall. Pass the sanctuary ordinance now, make LA a safe community for all, and protect our immigrant community.
Well, it should loom over your head. That's what happens when you break the law, like you and your parents did. Okay? And if you wanted to become legal, you go through a legal port of entry and you wait your turn because you're not fucking special and nor are your fucking parents. Have a good day.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to. Oh, and yes, if you could bring down our mic a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, I speak Spanish, please.
Interpreter, if you can ask her to repeat the name.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Por favor, si puede indicar su nombre, señora.
Sí. Mi nombre, I speak Spanish, please. Okay. Mi nombre es María González y soy residente del condado de Los Ángeles. Yo vengo aquí a apoyar la ordenanza de la ciudad santuario de Los Ángeles. ¿Por qué?
Hello,
Porque...
un segundo, señora.
Okay, okay.
Pausa.
Hi, yes, my name is Maria Gonzalez. I am a resident of the County of Los Angeles, and I'm here to speak in favor of the sanctuary ordinance.
Okay. ¿Por qué estoy apoyando la ordenanza? Porque yo quiero
Not yes,
que mi
Mexican.
familia ande sin miedo en sus trabajos y las madres anden sin miedo en las escuelas y en los hospitales.
Why? Because I would want my family to be able to not work in fear, and as well as for mothers to be in hospitals as well without fear.
Por eso estoy apoyando la ordenanza de Ciudad Santuario de Los Ángeles y espero que ustedes la apoyen también.
And
Gracias.
that is why I am supporting the sanctuary ordinance here in Los Angeles, and I would hope that you guys support it as well. Thank you.
At this point, it's not even about your jobs, MT. You'll bleed out even if you had a job. You'll have to work twice as hard. You'll need 2 of those jobs to help pay for their Medicare,
Good morning to the council. My name
for
is
their
Carla
health care,
Aguayo.
for their
I am
kids to go to
the Director
school,
of Legal Services at
for their
CHIVA,
free rent
the
that they'll beg
Coalition
for.
Humane Immigrant Rights. And
Which
I'm here
items
this-
would you like to speak to? Which items? Is it 52?
I am going to be speaking in support of the Sanctuary City Ordinance. I believe it's item 52.
52? Oh, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. Again, my name is Carla Aguayo. I'm here representing CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. CHIRLA is a statewide immigrant rights organization
Thank
led
you,
by
Milani.
immigrants for immigrants with our headquarters right here in the city of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is an immigrant region, 4.3 million people living in the metro area, with 800,000 individuals living in this region who are undocumented. More than 80% of the region's families have at least one immigrant living in their household. $10 billion were paid by immigrants in the Los Angeles region in local and state taxes. Immigrant Angelenos are facing their gravest attacks from the upcoming administration with the clear threat of mass arrests and deportations from President-elect Trump. The city cannot be seen as being in support of family separations, of mass arrests, of mass deportations of their citizens of Los Angeles. Am I allowed to keep going?
Trust
so
me.
You can use 1 minute for general
There's
public
plenty of
comment.
immigrants here. Most of them are legal.
But
ma'am.
just before we start our time,
They did it the
so
right
if you
way.
would like general public comment in addition to any other items,
If they did it the
please let
right
us
way,
know
that's
when
all
we
good.
ask you which
They're
items you'd like to
Americans
speak
now.
to. Go ahead.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
But if they snuck
Thank
through
you
the
for that.
fence,
The-
yeah, or took a boat
The city
and
must
crashed
ensure
up onto the
its
beach
resources,
and ran.
property, and personnel are not
no.
being utilized for federal immigration enforcement by passing a sanctuary ordinance. The city of Los Angeles must no longer contribute to the separation of thousands of Angelino families. The city of Los Angeles must stand for united families, united immigrant families. Thank you.
Yeah, the closed captioning's on. Some people ask for it, so figure it'd be funny at least when Herman and them talk.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Arely Hernandez. I'm the Director of Executive Affairs for CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Public comment for item 52.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you, Council, for listening to us today. Today, we come before you united. As you see with us, we are a united group here
he's taking
today,
pictures of Mr. Herman.
multicultural, diverse, standing for one thing, and that's for this city ordinance to pass. Our city resources should be spent on services and the people here in LA, and not on separating families and Angelinos. This city has to spend on affordable housing, on ensuring that individuals facing homelessness have shelter, and not on becoming Trump's deportation force. That is not where resources should go.
Taking pictures of
Our city
them.
resources need to
Look.
go to schools, to clinics, to parks, and not to terrorizing our vibrant and contributing immigrant community. LA is a community that has welcomed people for decades, for centuries, and now is not the time to stop being that place where people feel safe.
not centuries
Despite
old, but
LA
okay.
being home to 1.3 million immigrants,
I don't know, it
and
might
over
be 200 years old
that's 34% of the population, it still does not
doubt
have
it,
a
though.
sanctuary policy in the books,
So,
and
public
that
comment?
should end today.
The city of.
Before the next speaker begins, I will call more names. Monica De Los Santos, Yvonne Willer, Gina Amato, Jason Batista, Michelle Carey.
Jason Jenkins.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Brock's already on hold. We're going to see Brock.
Of the Sanctuary City Ordinance.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 52. Go ahead.
We'll see some Brock.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome everyone. Good morning. My name is Nancy Mesa. Today I'm here representing the National Day Labor Organizing Network in support of this sanctuary policy, but also as an immigrant Angelino here in LA. To be honest, it's really embarrassing that a policy like this doesn't currently exist in the books. And I think it's important that the council take this opportunity to mend the mistakes of the past and really protect immigrants today. Everyone here in this room has been fighting for decades to improve the lives of immigrant workers, of students, right, of immigrants in their housing, and we're not going to give up, right? We're not going to give up fighting
Look
for
at him,
our
look at him, look at him,
neighbors,
look at him.
fighting
The
for
cheerleader.
ourselves, and
Everybody
fighting for those
stand
that
up.
we love, right? So the city needs to also show up with us, right, and join us in this fight, because this fight is going to get real. We've been through this before, right? We've been through a Trump presidency
Thank you,
before.
Jason.
And like I said before, you'll have the opportunity today, right, to rescind the mistakes of the past and pass this ordinance now. It's an embarrassment that the city of Los Angeles doesn't have this on the books today, but I believe that you can make it happen today. Thank
No,
you.
what's an embarrassment is you and your party who come in here and constantly beg for money.
And as
You
the
lazy
next speaker comes
fucks.
up, just as a request.
That's
for
what's-
courtesy.
that's what's embarrassing.
So I understand there's a lot of people here today.
I'm your daddy,
and
and people just like me who pay our fucking taxes and work twice as hard. So you're asking sit in this country and do nothing.
And hold your applause.
And cry
till the
about
end.
it. Come to the
appreciate
city
it. It
hall
helps
and
us
beg for
maximize the
money
number of
like
people
the
who get to
fucking
speak.
losers
So,
that you are.
Good morning. You could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
My name is Yvonne Wheeler, and I'm the president of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, and I'm speaking on item 52, public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. So on behalf of the Los Angeles labor movement, I'm here urging all to pass the ordinance
Thank you, Bionic.
declaring Los Angeles a sanctuary city. Los Angeles is made great by its union members, many of whom are proud immigrants. It is our duty to protect
Legal
our immigrant
immigrants.
community and fight against the
Big
hate,
difference.
indignity, and harm from this next administration. We cannot allow ICE or anyone else to target our immigrant communities and workers at our schools, places of worship, hospitals, or any other place in Los Angeles. I often say, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, and no matter who you love, there is a place for you in the labor movement. And the labor movement will fight to protect our immigrant communities and keep their families safe. We call on Los Angeles City Council to stand with the Los Angeles labor movement in this fight for immigrant justice and to declare Los Angeles a sanctuary city. Thank you.
Well, most of the country doesn't agree with you, ma'am. That red tsunami told you something. That most of the country doesn't think like you.
Good morning.
And again,
Please
if
remind
you
us
want to
of the
bring them
names
into your
you signed up
house,
under
go
and the
ahead.
items you'd like
I
to
won't.
speak
You
to.
won't bring one
Buenos
motherfucking
días.
person in
Mi
your
nombre
house,
es
ma'am. I
Mónica
know
de
it.
los Santos
So keep up with the
y vengo
gaslighting.
en representación de SCOP y soy abuela, madre y líder.
Hello, yes, my name is Maria de los Santos, representing Scott. I am a grandmother, a mother, and a leader.
Thank you again,
Y
Bionic.
vengo en representación de la organización de SCOP porque estamos apoyando que firmen la ordenanza, porque necesitamos que nuestras familias, como son hijos y nietos, se encuentren unidos y todos no tengan miedo. Pueda uno
Un segundo,
seguir.
señora, perdón. Yes, I am representing Scott, and I'm asking you guys to support this ordinance so that the families, the sons and grandkids can be united with you guys and be protected.
Yes, it did, stranger.
Necesitamos seguir
It was
trabajando
more red than it was
tranquilos,
blue.
porque hasta ahora para eso
blue is
venimos
all in the big
y
cities.
hacemos de
That's
nuestra
how it is.
lucha, ¿verdad? Que
They have blue
ustedes
cities, not so much blue
pedimos y
states.
exigimos que firmen ya. Ya es hora de que pase esta ordenanza. Gracias.
Thank you, Talvish.
And we also need to be able to do our jobs and work in peace and
Good to
without
see you
fear.
too, Talvish.
We ask
Thank you.
you guys to support that so that we can continue our good fight, and we ask for you guys' support. Thank you.
Cut all the federal funding. That's exactly it. No more federal or disaster emergencies. You clean it up yourself.
Items you'd like to speak to?
I don't want to
morning,
get not
Gina
$1 to
Amato on
California.
item
And I'm in
52 and
California.
general public comment, please.
Not
So you have
$1.
1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Great. Good morning. My name is Gina Amato. I'm the directing attorney at Public Counsel Immigrants' Rights Project. Our mission at Public Counsel is to advance civil rights, racial and economic justice, and to amplify the power of our clients, including immigrant communities across Los Angeles. We are mobilizing to take action against unlawful policies that target immigrant communities and undermine our democracy. We successfully defended the immigrant community under the former Trump administration, and we stand ready to do it all again. We are ready to help lead the fight against unjust policies in the new Trump administration, uphold the rule of law, and stand with our communities in this pivotal moment of history. And we are here today to demand that you do the same, that you stand with us, with our partners, and the communities that we serve, and stand against this administration and protect the residents of this city. Immigrant families are under attack and face the imminent threat of harm and separation. The city of Los Angeles
General public comment.
must stand up, lead, and protect its people. As we prepare for the real possibility of mass detention and deportation, it is imperative that the city commit to using none of its resources to collude with ICE and enforce federal immigration law. By passing the sanctuary ordinance, the city of LA can ensure that its resources, property, and personnel are not being used to detain and deport immigrants or rip apart immigrant and mixed status families. Public Counsel is committed to ending the inhumane and unjust treatment of immigrants, as well as the practices that have ruptured families and communities throughout LA. And disentangling city resources from federal immigration enforcement is a key step toward this goal. We call on the city of Los Angeles to stand with us today and pass the sanctuary ordinance now. Thank you.
Good luck with that, man. And like I said, not $1 in federal funding to anything in California that they need. Not $1.
If you could please remind us of the name.
This administration hasn't even started yet, and look at them.
Yes, Michelle Carey.
Imagine when it's actually going.
Okay, so you have 1
Holy
minute for the
fuck.
item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the
Get
item.
ready.
Thank you.
It's bubbling.
Hello, my name is Michelle Carey.
Stew's
I'm
bubbling.
with the Survivor Justice Center, formerly known as the Los Angeles Center for Law and Justice, a nonprofit in East LA that provides free legal representation to survivors of intimate partner violence, sexual violence, and human trafficking. No city resources, property, or personnel should be used for immigration enforcement. Immigrants in LA, including survivors, continue to face attacks from federal immigration system, especially under the increased threat of mass arrests and deportations. The city can ensure its resources, property, and personnel are not being used for any sort of federal immigration enforcement by passing the ordinance today. The city of LA must no longer contribute in any way to the separation of families and the increased fear in the immigrant community. LA must be a city where people can feel safe, not only from immigration enforcement, but also when applying for critical city services.
Moxie.
This is particularly important for survivors, as those who abuse and exploit often use the fear of ICE as a tactic for power and control, and further isolate survivors by preventing them or creating fear so that they do not access much needed services. The unjust and racist immigration detention and deportation system should not be supported by any local resources. We need these resources to create safety and support immigrant families, not tear them apart.
What's up,
The ordinance
Charlos?
would
What's up,
finally
Shelley?
make LA a true sanctuary city, just as LA County did in September of 2020. I call on the City Council to protect immigrant survivors and the entire immigrant community and pass the sanctuary ordinance immediately. Thank
Protect
you.
them if they're legal. If they're illegal, get them the fuck out. They should be
I
fearing.
will call more names. Talia.
And trust me, if I know they are, I'm calling. Hey, they're right there.
Val
Come get them.
Carlson, Yolanda Alanis, Stephanie Martinez.
Morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm tired of
Jason
paying the
Bautista.
bill.
I'm speaking on item 52 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item.
Demanding shit
Please begin with
while
the
we
item. Go
pay
ahead.
for you.
Thank you.
Get
Hello,
the
my
fuck
name is
out of you.
Jason
Got us
Bautista.
fucked
I'm
up.
with the Thai Community Development Center, or Thai CDC, serving the community in East Hollywood, Thai Town. As a nonprofit organization that caters towards the needs of Thais and other immigrants that share Thai Town as their home, I want to express that none of our city's resources should be used for immigration detention and deportation. It is unjust and racist. Instead, our resources should be used to
I hope,
support our
Supra.
immigrant communities. We're a city of 4.4 million immigrants, or 33% of the population. Immigrant Angelenos contribute to the labor, economy, culture, and overall vibrancy of our city. Immigrant Angelenos deserve to feel and be safe when applying for city services, not worry that their private information can be gathered and shared with immigration authorities. Through the sanctuary ordinance, it would establish Los Angeles as a true sanctuary city. And importantly, it will keep Angeleno families together. So I urge City Council to please protect our communities from ICE, and please pass the LA Sanctuary Ordinance immediately. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody.
Smoke.
Why
don't we get a regular up here?
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
I'm from CD 10 in support of item 52 plus general comments.
Okay, and before you begin, can you pull down the microphone just a little bit so we can hear you? Thank you. So you have
How's
1 minute
that?
for the item. Perfect.
I want to look pretty when I say this. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yolanda Alanis from the Freedom Socialist Party and National Radical Women. Immigrant workers built the wealth of this country. Without immigrant labor, our economy would go into the toilet. Now is the time to have the cojones to help lead a united front against
Economy's in the
right-wing
toilet, ma'am.
attacks on the most vulnerable in our society. We are in a historical moment to stop fascist aggression. Pass this ordinance now. We deserve to have an ordinance like this. We have to protect the ones who need it most. I am a Chicana, 7 generations in this country, but I am still vulnerable because I am brown. And those of us who are people of color, they're not going to ask us if we're immigrants. They're going to arrest us because there's a profile going on, which is illegal. So please pass this ordinance now. Thank you.
General. Oh.
Well, if you stop committing crimes,
Good morning.
don't come into the country illegally, you have nothing to worry about, ma'am.
To speak to.
Hello, my name is Sophia Wrench. I'm speaking on
Just
item
don't commit
52
crimes.
and general
You'll be
public
fine.
comment.
You won't get caught.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Thank you. My name is Sophia Wrench. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an attorney with Public Counsel.
She, her.
I
Fucking
work with
idiot.
the Los Angeles Street Vendor Campaign, and I represent and work alongside the over 50,000 street vendors in Los Angeles, the majority of whom are immigrants. This is a critical moment where you as city council members must live into your values and protect immigrant communities. The community is angry and fearful due to McConnell's appointment as LAPD chief and the coming deportations under the Trump administration.
Said he wasn't going to deport you. What are you talking about?
Please feel, understand, and respect that. The city of Los Angeles must no longer contribute to the separation of thousands of Angeleno families. Local resources should be put into supporting immigrant families, not tearing them apart. Los Angeles must be a leader in defending immigrant communities. Passing this sanctuary law is more urgent than ever. Thank you.
Yeah, JC, I noticed. You know, she's one of them. And he's a Democrat.
Please remind us of the name you signed up under.
For sure.
And items you'd like to speak to.
Good morning. My name is
Or she.
Val Carlson. I'm the local branch organizer for the Freedom Socialist Party here in Los Angeles.
Socialist Party.
I'm speaking on support of item 52 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1
Communist,
minute for the
I
item
told
and
you.
1 minute for general.
It's a
Please begin.
communist
Yeah,
right
go
there.
ahead.
I'm very pleased to see you finally taking up this sanctuary issue today and actually putting some teeth into it. Back in 2018, a bunch of us were down here calling on Los Angeles to become a full-fledged sanctuary city and to also provide permanent supportive public housing for our unhoused community members and neighbors. Neither of those had come to pass until today.
Who's paying for the
We
housing?
start with the enforcement to protect immigrants, which is long overdue. But on the flip side of that, you need to take the resources, the personnel, and the property of the city and start using it to provide for the housing, provide for the services, provide for everything that our most vulnerable communities need so desperately. Immigrants built this city and are making it run today. The recent historic hotel strike by HERE raised wages throughout the hotel industry
General
for
public
everyone.
comment.
Was that both minutes or just the one?
General, we're going to start your minute now. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, as we see, the immigrants are in the forefront, not of doing the work in this city, but also fighting for their rights and everybody else's rights. And that protection really needs to happen. The protection also needs to extend to protect those of us who are protesting the draconian things that the Trump administration is going to throw at us. And this time, please protect us from the right-wing thugs and stop arresting and harassing and jailing and criminalizing the protesters on the right side of history. We also, I had some concern about one of those amendments that came by, the one that mentioned giving federal court orders the right to override this ordinance. We need to override those federal court orders. Many of them coming from this upcoming administration are going to be going in the wrong direction. So you might want to remove that from the amendment. Thank you.
So the socialist wants to overrule the law. Makes sense.
Before the next speaker
Makes
begins,
sense.
I
And
will
you tell
call
me
our
these people
names.
aren't communists.
Yulitza Gonzalez, Kathia Garcia, Carolina Morales, Marta Berrios, Joanna Reyes.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up
How
under
would you
and
like it,
items
ma'am?
you'd
How
like to
should we
speak to.
run the city for you?
My name is Stephanie Martinez.
Sure, that's good for you, little socialist pig.
Public comment and speak on item 52.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Right-wing thugs.
I'm a staff attorney at the Center
Apparently
for
there's more
Information on
right-wing
Policy
thugs in
and
this country than you know, ma'am.
It's pivotal
They
that
won.
Los Angeles enact a robust sanctuary ordinance to protect its more than 1.41 million immigrant residents, among who are undocumented UCLA students who I have had the immense privilege of working with
Undocumented
on a campaign
UCLA
to secure
students.
equal
Great.
employment opportunities on campus.
Instead of our kids
the
going.
sanctuary ordinance will protect these students, along with all Angelenos, from the anti-immigrant threats of the incoming Trump administration. The Los Angeles Sanctuary Ordinance can work as a safeguard by enshrining the city's Special Order 40 and Executive Directive 20 policies into law and aligning with the already existing Los Angeles County and state prohibitions on using local resources for immigration enforcement. To do so, the ordinance needs to include the following 3 assurances. First, a definition of immigration
Rob.
enforcement that matches state law. Second, the requirement of a judicial warrant
General
for
public comment?
the requirement of a judicial warrant for immigration and agents to enter city-owned property, just as the county has. And third, a provision that treats Angelenos' identifying data as confidential and prohibits its dissemination for purposes of immigration enforcement. A robust sanctuary ordinance can help protect this city's immigrants, among them undocumented students, in the difficult years ahead.
That's right, Jamie. Or Jaime. That's it. In fact, more blacks More Latinos, more Asians voted for him this year than they did the last time around.
Sure. My name is Talia.
So
Inlander,
apparently
and
there's
I'd
more
like to speak to general
thugs
public
than you
comment on
thought.
Item 52.
Anybody read the sign?
For the item and 1 minute
Can't
for general.
read it.
Please
Anybody?
begin with the item. Go
Anybody?
Thanks so much. Again, my name is Talia Inlander. I'm the Deputy Director at the Center for Immigration Law and Policy at UCLA
taking a
School
picture
of Law
of it.
and a resident of CD 13. With Donald Trump's reelection on a wave of anti-immigrant rhetoric and threats of mass deportations, Los Angeles must be prepared to protect the millions of residents and their families who call this city home. A robust sanctuary ordinance will do this in 3 crucial ways. First, it will enshrine into municipal law many of the protections in LAPD Special Order 40 and the Mayor's Executive Directive 20, ensuring that sanctuary is not just the policy, but the law of this city. Second, it will align the city with county policies that prevent local resources from being used to enforce immigration law, including Section 1326, the U.S.'s illegal reentry law, which the first Trump administration weaponized as a legal justification for separating parents from their children. Third, it will strengthen existing protections with respect to the sharing of municipal data, which will be crucial to Angelino's safety in the next administration. Los Angeles' commitment to its immigrant residents will undoubtedly be tested in the months and years to come. The Council's enactment of the Sanctuary Ordinance is an important first step in protecting our city and all of its residents against the xenophobic and racist policies that the next administration has threatened to unleash. Let us be ready to meet this moment together.
All right, I'm doing a Trump count from now on. I gave her 2 because I heard it. Now I'm gonna count every time I hear Trump's name.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like
I want to see how many we get.
Yes, Katia Garcia, and I'm speaking on item 52 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning. My name is Katia Garcia, and I'm the Youth Programs Manager with the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, also known as CHIRLA. In this role, I also have the privilege of overseeing the first 4 Dream Resource Centers at 4 LAUSD high schools. Actually, some of the council members here represent these schools, including Bernstein High School, Van Nuys High School, Belmont High School, and Monroe High School. Today, I come representing the newcomer students that I get to serve at these schools. They are afraid and uncertain about their futures.
They should be.
I want to be able to tell them that the council members of our city are doing everything they can to protect them. So far, you guys haven't done it. You have the power to pass the Sanctuary City Ordinance. Please vote yes in making this city safe for all undocumented students and their families. Thank you.
Again, if you snuck into the country illegally, you should be in fear. They're coming for you.
If you could please remind
Your
us
whole
of the name you
family.
signed up under and the items you'd like to speak
Again,
to.
if I snuck into Ecuador,
Buenos días,
they'd do the
mi
same
nombre es
thing to me.
Carolina Morán y estoy aquí para hablar del artículo 52. Soy miembro de Chila, comentario público en español.
Good morning. I'm here to talk on point number 52, and I'm a member of CHIRL.
Sorry, you said point number 52 in general?
52.
Okay. So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Tiene un minuto para el tema de la agenda y un minuto para comentario público general. Empiece con el tema de la agenda.
Soy residente del condado de Los Ángeles. El día de hoy estoy aquí para apoyar la ordenanza de Ciudad Santuario. Yo estoy apoyando esta ordenanza porque queremos que nuestros hijos
It's because
vayan
it's either have it
seguro a las escuelas.
zoomed in or zoomed out and have the caption. Which would you guys rather have?
A los trabajos y que todos tengamos seguridad aquí porque
Can't
no
have
queremos
both.
que ICE trabaje con la policía y queremos un lugar santuario. Gracias.
I want that our children go to schools and we can go to work in safety, and we do not want ICE to enforce those immigration laws. Thank you.
Sounds like
Good morning.
Herman.
If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Muy buenos días, mi nombre es Marta Berríos, soy representante de Chirla. Estoy acá por el artículo 52, comentario público, y hablaré en español.
My name is Marta Berrios. I am a member of Chirla, and I'm here to speak on item 52.
And that's why it's pixelated, because it's zoomed in.
And before you begin, I'm going to ask, can the interpreter please just increase the volume? I'm struggling to hear the interpretation.
No, they're already scared, Fish. This is them complaining about something that hasn't even started yet. Trump-proofing it.
Como dije, mi nombre es Marta Berríos, soy residente del condado de Los Ángeles. El día de hoy estoy aquí para apoyar la ordenanza de la ciudad santuario. Yo estoy apoyando esta ordenanza porque quiero justicia, igualdad para toda la comunidad inmigrante, que somos una gran...
I'm Marta Berrios, and I am a resident of LA County, and I'm here to support the sanctuary city law and why I want justice and equity for all.
Pienso, somos una fuerza que mueve mucho a el país y a el Estado, y pienso que merecemos respeto e igualdad.
We are a force that moves the country and the state, and I believe that we deserve respect and equality.
Espero que el concilio siga protegiendo nuestra comunidad inmigrante. Gracias.
I wish and I hope that the council keep on protecting our immigrant community. Thank you.
Trust me, we have fucking 39 million people here. We got enough in this state already. 39 million. Immigrant or no, we don't need any more.
Reyes, item 52, and general public comment.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joanna Reyes, and I'm with SCIU United Service Workers West, representing nearly 50,000 workers across California, made up mostly of people of color, many who aren't immigrants. This council has the opportunity to ensure that Los Angeles reasserts its leadership on immigrant rights. We demand no collaboration with ICE. We demand bold leadership. We demand solidarity with our immigrant community. Let's demonstrate that Los Angeles can truly be a welcoming home for those who have left their homes to look for a better life. We ask that you stand with our immigrant partners, with union janitors, airport workers, security officers, and more. We ask that you support the sanctuary ordinance. Thank you.
Demand.
Before the next
I heard the word
begins,
demand 3
I will
times.
Call more names. Luis Watanabe.
They're not asking. They're demanding.
Alexander Rodriguez. Jack Surya Linares.
That should be even more of a...
Estrada, Katie Nixon. Janet Martinez.
Should be even more of a smack in the face.
Please remind us of the
They go into your country and demand shit. Could you imagine going into Bolivia and doing that?
CD10,
See what happens to you.
Speaking in favor of 52 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for
I mean,
general.
go to Russia. Go to Ukraine. Go demand some shit.
My name is Martha
See how far you
Marion,
get.
and I believe we are in a moment of
And
moral
sneak in.
clarity that must come with unified action. We must act to stand in solidarity to protect our friends, family, neighbors, and community members who are under threat. I am also a therapist, and I have many colleagues who work in schools who are already seeing a huge uptick in students coming to see them with all kinds of somatic symptoms, crying, afraid, and asking, are my family members going to be taken away?
Yes.
They are already suffering trauma from the threat of mass deportation, and they have real reason to worry. The traumas they face moving forward will be in part on us if we do not act. I think of the 1940s and the thousands of Angelenos of Japanese descent who were rounded up from this city and sent to camps.
By Democrats.
For God's sake, let's not be a party to doing it again.
That party did it.
Our greatest strength is that we are an entire world in a city. And if all of us don't belong here, then none of us belongs here.
Yeah.
And there's a decent indigenous argument for that. But for now, our time to unite as a city and show up for what's right is now. And your votes today will be a historical record that mark what you stood for when asked to act. May God bless you all. Amen. Aho.
I love it. A gaslighter didn't tell you. She forgot to tell you that the Democrats were the ones that got the Japanese internment camps going. All the people that are in the room, the party she voted for.
Watanabe. I'm speaking on item 52.
Got that?
As a general comment.
The one she voted for did it all, but she didn't say anything about it.
Item 52 and general public comment, or just item 52?
That's facts. Remember, she's a psychiatrist. She's really smart.
General comment, I guess. But it's really...
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. So,
I wanted to speak in favor of item 52, having Sanctuary City. Actually, I have been involved with some of the discussions of the city since 2017, and I think it's about time. And as I am on the board of the West LA Democratic Club, and I think that it's really the right thing to do. And as a practicing Catholic, I think that we need to ensure that everybody is safe. And so this is, completely support it.
I think you should take them into your house, sir. As a Catholic, as a good Catholic, you'd take them right into your home. Keep them nice and safe.
Good morning. If you can
But I don't think you'll do that either, sir.
Any items you'd like to speak to?
Of course. Hi, my name is Alexander Rodriguez, item 52.
So you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Another gaslighter.
Good morning. Today I come as a constituent of CD8, and more importantly, as a son of undocumented immigrants who live here in South Central LA, who have dedicated their entire lives here to bolster and nurture the beautiful city of Los Angeles.
The anchor
Today,
baby.
For the 4.4 million immigrants here in LA County, 2.2 million of which are in subject fear of deportation, it's vital to pass and codify a robust sanctuary policy that protects all Angelenos. It's time for the city of LA to reassert its leadership on immigrant rights and to defend communities against mass deportations. The city must ensure that its resources, property, and personnel are not being utilized for federal immigration enforcement. The city should not succumb to the same hateful rhetoric of immigrants that they're going to see throughout these coming weeks and years. LA must no longer contribute to support the separation of families. I vote on all of you to vote yes on the sanctuary ordinance. Thank you.
I only see two regulars, Sean. Laser Lady's there, and Mr. Herman's there with the Batman mask and the flag hoodie.
Good morning. If you could please.
Other than that, I don't see anybody else. But that doesn't mean they didn't sign up and go outside.
Yeah, my name is Jack Surya Linares. I signed up for item 52 and for general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
On behalf of LAUSD board member Dr. Rocio Rivas, I speak today in support of the upcoming LA City Sanctuary Ordinance. LAUSD is a public good and a vital support system for all families, regardless of immigration status. As a sanctuary for students and families, LAUSD stands firm in defense of immigrants against any forces that seek to intimidate or harass.
Identity politics, Randy.
LAUSD is a safe haven, especially in moments of increasing authoritarian threats. LAUSD and the statewide education system has been at the forefront in establishing sanctuary and not entering into agreements with state or local law enforcement agencies, ICE, or any other federal agency for the enforcement of federal immigration law. LAUSD policy provides guidance for site administrators and district staff on the process and procedures to follow if federal immigration officials request access to a school site or district facility. Yet still, many LAUSD students fear
Trump
that their parents may
stimulus
not be
checks,
there
will
when
they
get
be
home from
issued?
school.
Can you receive
This
one?
ordinance offers
Question
them
mark?
a sense of security and allows
Fox
them to
11
focus
now.
on their education. Approving a strong sanctuary ordinance will not only highlight how Los Angeles defends democratic and civic institutions, it will encourage districts, cities, and states across the country to fight back against the erosion of our democracy and the need to stand at the side of the working class. I am especially proud that Los Angeles is finally taking up this as a formal policy. I have been advocating for state and local sanctuary policies since 2017, when Jim McDonough opposed the statewide sanctuary bill SB 54. This local ordinance will become a proud moment for Los Angeles and serve as a landmark that in this city would defend immigrant workers. I urge LA to pass this sanctuary ordinance.
Yay! Yay!
Good morning. If you could
Good
please.
morning, everyone. My name is Katie Nixon, and I'd like to speak on item 52 and general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I'm from Community Coalition, and I'd like to say that
What's up, Tons?
in New York City, do you guys see the statue like that, right? The liberty of statue. First they say, give me your tired, give me your poor, your huddled journey to break free. That's a statue showing that every immigrant that comes to New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, that's what the statue means and that's what it stands for. I am not against no color. I don't care what color you are, what country you come from. You just come, some of us come to LA, some of us go to Chicago, New York for a living. We are trying to make a living. But in other words, we have good people, we have bad people. I don't blame them when they want to get rid of bad people, put them in jail if they do wrong, but good people is trying to make a home for their families, their children, send them to school to get their education, and so the mothers and fathers try to work to do everything for their family. Thank you.
And I know they're all just perfect people.
Before
there is
the
no
next
bad
speaker
ones.
begins,
I know.
I will call more names. Carrie Martin, Gabe Aguilar.
Tell that to Lake and Riley's family.
Ainsley Huford, Araceli Bolanos.
Hola, buenos días. Me llamo María Estrada. Voy a hablar sobre el artículo 52, comentario público.
Hello, good morning. My name is Maria Estrada. I would like to speak on general public comment and item 52.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Soy janitor y miembro de SIU USWW. Soy residente del centro de Los Ángeles y limpio el edificio de US Bank.
Hopefully they're all charged, but
Yes, I
they
work
never
as a
will be,
janitor, member
Charlos.
of SCIU
You know that.
and USWW. I am a resident of Central Los Angeles, and
I
I
love
clean
Coke.
and work at the bank, of US Bank.
He vivido muchos años en este país y he visto cómo las comunidades migrantes son un pensamiento secundario para muchos. Estoy aquí el día de hoy para exigir que pasen la ordenanza santuario.
They're copers.
Yes, and I have lived here in Los Angeles for many years, and I have seen through the years how immigrant communities are a second thought for many people.
They're coping
That is
right
why
now.
I am here asking for your support in the ordinance.
With the
La
big
ciudad
loss.
de Los Ángeles no debe de participar en ninguna colaboración con agentes de migración o con el gobierno federal.
And
Sí.
the city of Los Angeles should not participate with any immigration enforcement agencies.
Si la intención es buscar a personas inmigrantes para poder deportarlos.
If the intention is to look for immigrant people to deport them.
Todos recordamos los 4 años horribles que vivimos bajo la primera administración de Donald Trump.
And we all remember the 4 disastrous years that we lived under the Trump administration.
What was disastrous?
Es el deber de este Consejo Municipal proteger a las personas de esta ciudad.
And it is the duty of this city council to protect
General
the people
public
of this
comment?
city. Comentario público general.
El deber de cada uno de ustedes es apoyar el movimiento santuario y pasar la ordenanza que hemos estado esperando por tanto tiempo.
And it is your duty to support this ordinance and to sign it to approve it to protect our rights.
Gracias.
Thank you.
I gotta be honest, ma'am. The fact that you don't even take the time to learn the language doesn't carry much weight. Anything you have to say to me. That and the fact that because I'm a taxpayer, I have to pay for all your shit.
Good morning. If you could
When you can't afford the too many kids that you had.
items you'd like to speak to?
I can't afford the rent. I can't afford this. Can't afford that. Stop having kids. But you can't afford.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Mira, estoy aquí en esta reunión el día de hoy
I am here in this meeting today
porque necesito
because
exponer mi preocupación por mi comunidad y por mí y mi familia.
because I need to express my worry for myself, my community, and my family.
Un nuevo cambio de un presidente que no es seguro para nosotros,
With the change of this new president who does not bring any security for any of us.
Who is
me
it?
hace sentir insegura.
What's his
and
name?
makes me feel unsafe.
Pero es mi deber trabajar el día a día
And it is my duty to work daily
y luchar, abogar por mi comunidad.
and fight for and represent my community.
Pero estoy confiando en que tengo a los concejales
And I am trusting that I have the city council members
y a una alcaldesa
and
que
a mayor,
vela por nosotros.
and a mayor that supports us.
Es por eso que estoy pidiendo que se apruebe en Los Ángeles, California,
And that is why I am asking for this to be approved in Los Angeles, California,
la ordenanza de Ciudad Santuario.
the Sanctuary City Ordinance.
Gracias a todos.
Thank you all.
Man, they are all pressed by Trump already, and the shit ain't even started. I mean, bro, it ain't even for a while now. The shit ain't gonna start for a minute.
If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak
Oh
to.
boy.
Ainsley Herford.
At
item
least 2
52
months.
And general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here on behalf of the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, also known as CAST. As one of the nation's oldest and largest service providers for survivors of human trafficking, we see firsthand how collaboration with immigration enforcement undermines public safety and trust. Many of the survivors we serve are undocumented or have mixed status families, making the threat of deportation or detention a weapon traffickers can use to silence and control them. Instead of protecting our communities, partnerships and information sharing with immigration enforcement perpetuate harm, particularly among immigrant and marginalized populations who are already vulnerable to trafficking. By limiting cooperation and preventing city resources from being used for immigration enforcement, this ordinance ensures that Los Angeles is a place where survivors feel safe to come forward, to seek justice, and to rebuild their lives. CAST encourages the passage of the
General public
sanctuary
comment.
motion as it is a vital step toward creating a city that protects human rights, values dignity, and refuses to be complicit in perpetuating exploitation. Thank you.
Oh, the trafficking side I get. There was lots of kids, thanks to this idiots who let all these immigrants in that were bringing in kids that aren't even theirs that they can't even track. So yes, there's that.
Good morning. If you could please remind
But
us of
slavery,
you signed up under and
who's the
items you'd
slaves?
like to speak to.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Araceli Bolaños y soy un miembro más de Community Coalition, sus siglas es COCO. Estamos aquí.
Hello, yes, my
soy-
name is Araceli Wilanos. I am part of COC, the Community
I'm
Coalition.
telling you, they're coping. They're they're copers.
I'm sorry,
Estoy
which
aquí.
items would you like to speak to?
¿Sobre qué temas quiere hablar?
Sobre el tema 52.
Item 52.
He's just trolling
Creo
you,
que
Cosmo.
Estamos aquí pidiéndoles,
It's a troll.
pidiéndoles
I'll be kicking
que
him out any moment.
la ciudad de Los Ángeles sea un ciudad santuario. ¿Por qué? Porque
We are
queremos
here to ask for you guys to make the city of Los Angeles a sanctuary city. And why?
Porque queremos de la ciudad de Los Ángeles una seguridad, que podamos trabajar con seguridad,
Because we want Los Angeles to be a safe city where we can work with security.
porque todos los que estamos aquí pedimos seguridad. Estamos marchando pidiéndoles con educación que se firme esta oportunidad que tenemos de ciudad santuario. Y yo sé que todos
Because we
ustedes
are,
lo pueden lograr.
we are all here asking for you guys to support our right to have safety. We are asking you guys to, with respect and with good manners,
That is
to
true,
please,
MT.
Sign
You
this
got me on that
ordinance.
one.
Todos nosotros creemos que el muro que está entre la
And to
frontera
pay
de
for these
Estados
people and
Unidos
her.
y la Ciudad de México es una falta de respeto para todo el ser humano que existe aquí en
Be-
Los Ángeles.
Because all of us here in this room believe that the wall that exists in the border between Mexico and the United States is very disrespectful for the immigrants and the citizens of the United States.
¿Por qué tenemos la Estatua de la Libertad en Nueva York? Porque todas las ciudades queremos libertad, ¿o no es cierto?
Why do we have the Statue of Liberty in New York? Because we all here believe in liberty and freedom.
Sí, gracias por escucharme y yo les digo y les juro que con la ayuda de ustedes y la ayuda de todos nosotros vamos a lograr la ciudad santuario en Los Ángeles.
And thank you for listening, and I promise with you guys' efforts and with us united, we will guarantee this to be a sanctuary city, the city of Los Angeles.
Y ahora podemos decir, sí se puede, pero vamos a regresar y vamos a decir, sí se pudo.
And now we say, yes, we can, but we will come back.
Thank you,
and we'll be
OCB.
able to say, yes, we could.
Sí, y de ustedes depende.
And it
De
depends on you
ustedes
guys.
depende su firma y su mente
I'm sorry,
para que
bud.
todos pensemos qué es lo que quiere la
Don't
ciudad
let
de
it
Los
get you
Ángeles.
too
Muchas
charged
gracias.
up.
And it depends on you guys' signature to do right for the
Just
people,
another
for the
person
people
that
of
comes to the country, doesn't learn the language, doesn't identify as an American, and demands things to change.
Items you'd like to speak to?
And you've
Yeah, my name is
disrespected
Carrie
her
Martin, speaking
by
to
putting up a
item
barrier so people can't just walk drugs in and things like that,
General, please begin with the item. Go ahead.
and
Good
child
morning. My name
traffic
is
and
Carrie
everything
Martin.
else.
I use they, them pronouns. I'm a law fellow
Idiot.
at Public Counsel, a board member of the National Lawyers Guild of Los Angeles, and a member of NLGLA's Immigration
They,
Steering
them.
Committee. I'm here today to strongly encourage you to drop
You
this-
understand it's a
adopt the
plural
sanctuary
term, not a
ordinance
singular
and stand
term.
10 toes
You're
down
one
on
person,
protecting
idiot.
our city
Well, maybe
and
you're
all
not.
of the people who call Los Angeles home. Our city is built on the unceded Chumash and Tongva lands, now colonized as Los Angeles, California, in
God.
America. Our city, this country, built by immigrants. Yet many of our immigrant neighbors live in fear of attacks from the federal immigration system, such as mass arrest, deportation, and family separation, seen previously and certain to continue under President-elect Trump, while subject to dehumanization and disrespect none of them deserve. Criminalization, detention, and deportation are tools of empire, not of democracy. In light of the upcoming federal regime change, this ordinance offers a flare of
General
hope
public comment?
for the coming 4 years and is your first opportunity to take collective action as our elected representatives to ensure our city's resources are not used to fracture our communities and advance a broader rhetoric of xenophobia, racism, and intolerance. Protect immigrants, pass the ordinance, sanctuary now.
Now I understand why she uses the terms fucking they, them. Because there is multiple people in her head.
Before the next speaker begins, I will call more names.
Okay? She's probably
Rabbi
schizophrenic.
Edwards,
That's why they're they, them.
June Habino, James Thomas, Charles Brister, Bruno Huizar,
All right, everybody.
Smoke. Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Good morning. My name is Gabriel Aguilar, and I'm a constituent of District
And
14.
that's a
here to
haircut
speak
of somebody
on
in an
item
insane
52
asylum
and
as
general
well.
public comment.
But we'll let
1
that
minute
one
for the
go.
item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
No city resources should be used in collaboration with ICE. LA is a city of immigrants, and the city should not give in to pressure from the federal government to help carry out its immoral and racist deportation policy. Instead, the city should be doing everything in its power to protect immigrant Angelenos. That is why I'm urging you all to pass this sanctuary ordinance. Once passed, LA can be a true sanctuary, and immigrant families and community members can rest assured knowing that their city has their back. Thank you.
If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Good morning. My name is Siti Ben, and I am here to speak on item number 52,
Sitting Ben?
Sanctuary Ordinance. And I am a faith-rooted organizer with Clue Justice, and I am an ordained minister with International Mission Center USA. And I'm here to speak in support of the Sanctuary Ordinance. Me, my family, we are directly impacted by all this. We're immigrants coming from Cambodia, and at the same time, we are here to support immigrants, not just those of the Cambodian and Asian descent, but of all descent. In fact, as my job as a faith-rooted organizer with Clue Justice, we are part of the LA Welcomes Collective, where we provide support and services for those coming to Los Angeles.
He's here,
One
Peter.
of the things that we do is to end homelessness and the threat of homelessness that those are facing over here, and we want to continue this type of work, and passing the Sanctuary Ordinance will assist that. It will not separate families, and we want to prevent that. We want to prevent the new administration coming and threatening mass deportation. And one of the ways to protect families and the immigrant community is by passing the Sanctuary Ordinance. And want to thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you
Let me
signed
guess,
up under
another
and the items you'd
socialist.
like to speak to.
Yes, Rabbi Lisa Edwards, item 52, and general comments.
Come
So
on,
you have 1
Rabbi.
minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the
Look at
item.
Herman right here.
My name is Lisa Edwards. I'm a rabbi living in Los Angeles. I'm here as a volunteer with CLU, CLU Justice, Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. And my wife, who is here with me, Tracy Moore, and I have been residents in Los Angeles for over 3 decades. And we've been Jewish community leaders in that time, and we have seen close up in homes, schools, shops, restaurants, healthcare, government, houses of worship, everywhere, how immigrants and their children help Los Angeles be the thriving, diverse, intriguing, marvelous place that it is. Please vote for the sanctuary ordinance to keep Angelino families together, protect our immigrant community members, and keep LA a place that people from all over the world admire, visit, and often choose to call home. Please, city leaders, can we lock arms, as Mayor Bass likes to say, and protect our precious residents, one and all?
Mayor Bass. What a useless piece of dung.
Before the next speaker begins, I will call more names. Jason Jenkins, Chief Manuelito,
That was Herman.
Donald Harlan, and Goat Puppet.
Oh my God! Please, come on! Please let them all come up.
You know the rules. So please do not interrupt this meeting. This is your first and only warning. We call, if you have a question, you can speak to the sergeants on the side.
Please let Donald Harlan and Goat Puppet.
The name you signed up under and the items you'd like
Jason,
to speak to.
did you hear you're in there?
My name is June Hibino. I want to speak on item 52 and general comment.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general
Shout out
public
to
comment.
Jason.
Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. My name is June Hibino, and I'm on the coordinating committee of Nikkei Progressives, a grassroots, multi-generational organization based in Little Tokyo. I'm here today to call on the City Council to vote yes on the sanctuary ordinance. Since 2017, Nikkei Progressives has been supporting immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. We've collected funds, clothing, and supplies, and have advocated for just immigration policies. We do all this because we uphold the human right of all people
Jason's
to seek
famous,
safety
man.
for themselves and
It's on
their
the
families,
radio here.
and
People
to
want
escape
to be
poverty
Jason.
by working hard to provide for their families. And as Japanese Americans,
Brock
we know
started it
from
all.
our past what anti-immigrant hate and racist scapegoating look like. Our Japanese and API communities were also subjected to family separation, mass detention, and outright anti-Chinese and anti-Japanese exclusion laws.
1892
API communities
Chinese Exclusion
are now
Act
still being
made by the
impacted
Democrats.
by immigration policies. With Trump's election,
You keep
we
voting
can
for
only
him.
expect the same type of racist and inhumane policies to be implemented. The city of LA must take a stand and make the city a true sanctuary city. It must say no city resources, property, or personnel should be used for immigration enforcement. It cannot be a part of separating thousands of Angelino families. LA can and must be a leader in defending immigrant communities. I urge you to pass the sanctuary ordinance. Please affirm the city's commitment to protecting and defending immigrants and upholding the basic humanity and dignity of all people. Thank you.
Okay, so now we've had two people that vote Democrat. One was talking about the Chinese
the next speaker
internment
begins,
camps
I
or
will
the
call
Japanese
names.
internment camps, and didn't tell you that the Democrats did that. And then the
Melinda
Chinese Exclusion Act,
Guatemala, Jesus C.
1892.
Xochitl Sanchez, Jesus Raymond Villalba.
Okay, so both those things done by the Democrats. Neither of them had said, "Hey, the people that I'm talking to, your party, they did that."
Brister. I'm here for item 52 and general comments.
Neither.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute
They're
for
both
general.
worried
Please
about
begin with
Trump.
the item. Go ahead.
Buenos dias, Calamera. And I can keep going, but there's about 200 languages spoken in Los Angeles. So I'm going to get right to it. My main concern is how many people can we accept in Los Angeles? I'm sure there's millions of
Right.
people that want to come to Los Angeles.
That's right.
And we can't be a sanctuary city for everybody.
That's true.
So before you vote, I'd really like you guys to take a good look at the cost. How
Thank
many
you,
people
sir.
can come to this city?
Thank you.
How much water will they use? And all
Thank
kind of other considerations. It just can't be unlimited. So that's my concern about this ordinance. A wise man once said, before you can save the world, make up your bed. And we have people in this city that don't have beds, American citizens that are homeless. And I feel we really need to put American citizens first. You were all elected by American citizens. Let's make that the focus, and then if we can help other people, that's fine. But let's not forget our American citizens.
General public comment?
Thank you very much.
Give that motherfucking man a gold star. Give him a frame, a gold one.
Next speaker.
Viewer discretion is advised, everybody. Viewer discretion is advised. Here comes Herman. The news is going to get this one.
Sir, which name did you sign up under? Me? Yes, you? Which name did you
Mr.
sign
Herman,
up
you know how
under?
this works. You're stalling. Please start his time.
All items and non-general public comment. Kevin De Leon, thank you for being here. I'd like to remind the world about alcohol. Alcohol is good for you. It drains out the problems that we all have in society, right? We all have problems. Immigration problems, social problems, rent problems. But apparently, off of Culver Boulevard, the offsite off of Nora Market, we're going to provide all of you with the best type of alcohol in the world. The kind that gets you fucked up. And then you can't think. You can't do your job. You are labeled terrorist because you behave in a manner that's not appropriate under the consumption of alcohol, like Jose Luis Huizar did to you. Now, if I were wrong...
Next item. You already passed it.
Fine. I'll go to the next item. There's a lot of items there. As a matter of fact, item 2, fuck item 2, fuck item 4, fuck item 12, fuck item 31, fuck item 36, fuck item 40, fuck 42, 2, 43, fuck, no, not 45, because that's about Trump. Now let me go into item 52 for the
Trump
record.
count.
You know, a sanctuary city was a perfect dream. But you have lawyers and scumbag lawyers, scumbag politicians, and dirty nigger politicians that have lied to you. They told you that they were working on your behalf as immigrants. No, they were using you. The same way they used my families, my generations of Native Americans to flood us with alcohol and drugs and to fuck with our minds, to alter the way you think. Do you really believe that item 52 is important to them? No. It will never be important to a politician because a politician's dream is to be like Satan. Lie, and lie to the public. That's why
Address the council
So
directly, sir.
You've exhausted your 1 minute on item 52.
Okay,
and this
so I
is your
got
opportunity to address this body, not members of the audience.
So what are you saying?
If I'm saying address the
Look, it's
body.
a photo
not
op.
Yeah,
Look
but I
how
got
he's
3
taking
minutes of my
pictures.
non-agenda public comment, bro.
Continue.
I shall. After all, I'm here as Batman.
Well, this is not on the agenda. Would you like to move to general public comment?
That's right.
General public comment. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
So Batman wants you to remember the law. The law is about justice, and Batman represents justice and fights the injustice of society.
Thank you, Nanya.
So I'm going to ask the audience, the fastest way to get through this is if everybody just
Now, Gro,
keeps quiet and gives them his time. Go
you
ahead.
continue to allow them to stomp on me because I believe in Trump. And Trump will regulate. Trump
So again,
will
members of the
regulate
public, I'm
our
gonna ask the
society.
fastest way to get through
Trump
this is
will
to just let
regulate
him
our
say his piece.
society and make things better. We will build. We will have jobs.
people, we
will live to be the best we are ever to be in America. But we can't do it if we have a rambunctious piece of shit that we got rid of for governor to be, other than that dumb bitch from San Francisco.
All right, your time's up.
Expired.
Time's up. Next,
Mr. Herman,
next speaker.
this is
Sit
your
down,
first
Mr.
and
Herman.
only
Your
warning.
time is up.
Move on so we can move on to the next public speaker. I would remind you that you are on probation as well, so please do not
You're on
disrupt this meeting.
probation.
For everybody who's new here, or
Look at his
even if
face.
you're returning, welcome to the show. This gentleman gives his public comment at basically every single meeting. Again, this is an opportunity for people to express their viewpoints from all different perspectives. The fastest way to get through public comment and to maximize all of your public comment is to just remain quiet during the actual public comment portion.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
Oh, it's fucking the Great Pander.
You AK Candido Maris. I would like item
Thank you, Nunya.
52,
Thank you,
and I
Shell.
would like public comment, sir.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for
I
general
have to
public
hide
comment.
under my Native American name. Item 52. You know, I'm going to ask one of the best people to ever serve this city, Chief McDonald, to serve the people of this city, to serve the immigrants, that when that traitor, when that crook, when that criminal Trump sends his army into this city, I hope that Mr. Jim McDonald will do everything to protect the immigrants of this city. They are the fuel of this city. This is the greatest city in the country. They are the greatest. We are the greatest. And why? Because immigrants have always come to this city and made this city great. But I would ask, there was a Hispanic lady that just spoke a little while ago. Her speech was magnificent. I would ask you to empower yourself by learning English, just as I will learn to speak Spanish. I apologize that I can't speak to you in Spanish, but I would ask that you empower yourself, because when you empower yourself with English, you don't have to ask anybody else to speak for you.
Just like the
Mr.
previous
DeLeon,
speaker,
I'm proud of you, sir. Thank you for the service that you gave
He
this
is there.
city. And Mr. McCosker, I want to thank you for being, I call you a man of integrity, because as you see here, we're looking for people of integrity, and you, sir, and these other people might get mad, but I don't care. You have integrity, and I thank you for that. And Mr. DeLeon, God bless you, brother.
Is that his bodyguards? No, that's Johnny G. One of them's Johnny G in the hat. Oh, please, Johnny G, come up and talk. That was Jason Jenkins, huh? You guys think he signed up as Jason because he hates Jason?
You have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm a deputy director with the California Immigrant Policy Center, and I'm here today as
Jason should say, hey, my name is Candido Maris.
Myself, and I've seen firsthand in
smoking
both
scan
my
dealer.
family and with the many detained clients that I've represented
When he
how
calls it.
cruel the immigration system and family separations are. I'm here today to ask the City of LA to do everything it can to prevent mass deportations from happening here. The city must ensure that its resources, property, and personnel are not used for any forms of immigration enforcement by passing a sanctuary ordinance today. The ordinance would make LA a true sanctuary city, not just in words, but in actions. It would bar the city from asking about or collecting information about a
He's gonna
person's
go get it,
citizenship
too.
or immigration status or place of birth. And it would do the same thing that the LA County policy did in September 2020, which is prevent the police from turning over people in their custody to ICE. With this important step, LA will no longer support the unjust immigration, detention, and deportation system. Let's move forward together as a city and not backwards to a time when thousands of people were being transferred over to ICE. And also, let's show the rest of the country that LA is committed to racial justice and that LA is committed to protecting and defending immigrants. Over 100 organizations, different labor, faith, community, legal, and advocacy organizations signed a letter in support of the sanctuary ordinance. I want to ask everybody to stand up here who has signed on to that letter and is in support of sanctuary. As we can see, we urge you to pass sanctuary now. Thank you.
I urge you to take all your money and give it to them so they can live. I urge you to fucking take them all into your house, but you won't do any of that. But you'll tell me I need to hurry up and demand that I hurry up and do it.
So the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to?
Yeah.
My name is Xochitl Sanchez, and I'm here to speak on general public comment and item 52.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
My name is Xochitl Sanchez, and I am a senior statewide organizer with the California Immigrant Policy Center. I am here to demand that the City Council pass the sanctuary ordinance.
Demand.
A robust sanctuary policy is critical to keeping Angelino families together. The threats of violence, family separation, mass deportations, and internment camps looms over Los Angeles. The LA City Council needs to pass and implement local policy to protect its immigrant communities now. With the appointment of Sheriff McDonald to LAPD chief, local government has signaled an alignment to Trump allies with a history of collusion with ICE. McDonald has betrayed BIPOC communities before, so City Council must do everything in its power to protect our communities and pass the LA Sanctuary Ordinance. We must act now to activate our communities and local government to action to protect and defend the advancements of the civil rights and immigrant rights movement in America. Pass the Sanctuary Ordinance in LA today.
Communist activate. I can see it.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Jesús Ramón Villalba Gastelum, artículo 52 y comentario público.
Jesús, Article 52 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. And feel free to lift the mic if you'd like. Go ahead.
Tiene un minuto para cada tema. Por favor, acérquese al micrófono.
Buenos días, soy Jesús Ramón Villalba Gastelum. Soy un organizador con el Centro de Política del Inmigrante Californiano.
I am Jesus Ramon Villalba and I'm organizer for the Center of Immigration.
Yo trabajo en la ciudad de Los Ángeles, pero antes de cualquier cosa, soy un ser humano.
¿Qué?
I work in the city of LA, but besides anything else, I am a human being.
No tengo papeles y tampoco tengo miedo.
I do not have papers and I am not fear.
I'm shocked.
Mi familia llegó a Estados Unidos en el 2005 huyendo la violencia y inestabilidad que los Estados Unidos causó.
My family came in here in 2005, escaping from violence that the same United States provoked.
Pronto después de llegar a North Long Beach, mi familia se encontró viviendo en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Soon after arriving to Long Beach, my family went to live in the city of Los Angeles.
Mis padres construyeron sus edificios, alimentaron a su gente y trabajaron horas arduas en esta ciudad.
My parents built your buildings, they feed your people, and they work for hours in this city.
Yo estudié aquí, yo vivo aquí, yo amo aquí.
I studied here, I lived here, and I loved here.
Y yo junto con la comunidad atrás de mí hemos construido lo que ustedes ahora tienen la responsabilidad de proteger.
And me and my community in my back have built that what you right now have the responsibility to protect.
Hoy estamos parados en el pueblo ancestral de Yagna, bajo el liderazgo del pueblo Tongva.
Right now we are standing up on the ancestral people of Yangba and Tongva.
General public comment.
Comentario público general, por favor.
Today we stand in the ancestral village of Yagna under the stewardship of the Tongva people, in solidarity with the shared struggles of displacement, violence, and criminalization. Hoy estamos parados en el pueblo de Yagna bajo el cuidado del pueblo Tongva en solidaridad con los pueblos y una historia de violencia y criminalización. I am here to remind you of the enormous debt that you have to all of us in this room and to our families and communities outside of these walls. Estoy aquí para recordarles que la deuda que ustedes tienen a nosotros en este cuarto y nuestras familias fuera de esta cámara. Aprueben la ordenancia de santuario, paguen lo que deben. Approve the sanctuary ordinance and pay your debt.
Before the next speaker begins, I will call more names.
Well, his long hair.
Shaniqua Figueroa, Harriet Elliott, Greenspan Mike, Jack Linares, Jessica Robinson, Joe M.
Shaniqua Figueroa is 3-inch shrimp.
Good afternoon.
Mike Greenspan is who ate all the pussy, so we have two possibles there.
Good afternoon, item 52.
Unless it was Herman who signed all these people up, and none of them are there. There's Laser Lady.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Jesus Carrion. I am a current student at Harvard Law School.
That's
a
Laser
visiting
Lady
scholar
right
at the
there.
UCLA School of Law and a graduate of USC. I stand before you today not only as a law student, but as someone who has lived through the struggles many immigrants in our community face every single day. As a DACA recipient and a lifelong dreamer, I grew up in the shadows, constantly fearing separation from my loved ones and of being sent back to a place we had fought so far to escape. My life has been marked by constant uncertainty, but I persevered because I believed in the promise of a better life, though that promise always seemed just out of reach. Then came DACA. It gave me a fighting chance, a chance to live without the constant fear of deportation, a chance to work, and a chance to build a future for myself. DACA brought me hope and the opportunity to chase my
DACA?
dreams.
Caca?
But too many of my friends, family, and neighbors still live in that same uncertainty, facing each day with the fear that it might be their last in this country. They continue to live under the shadow of deportation, unable to fully embrace the opportunities this country has to offer.
General
That
public
is-
comment?
You got me crying,
That
bro.
is why I am asking the City Council to help give us that same fighting chance. By passing this ordinance and making the city a sanctuary for immigrants, you will send a message to every immigrant in the city that we are not alone, that we are valued, that we are worthy of the same protections and opportunities as any other member of the community.
You are if you come through a legal
This
port of
ordinance will
entry.
offer hope, the hope that one day
Simple.
immigration policies may change, allowing us to emerge from the shadows to continue to contribute to LA's vibrant community in meaningful ways. Thank you.
Why is it so hard to understand? If you come through a legal port of entry, you get all that. But if you don't, you just came through the fence, the middle of the night, middle of the day,
Please remind us of the names.
don't care where you're from. You're going to go back.
Good afternoon.
Your kids too.
Bruno Wisad, agenda item 52 and general public comment.
The kids that live here need to not be in a room with 78 other kids.
Good afternoon. City
Nobody
Council
learns
members.
anything.
My name is Bruno Wisad, and I'm with the California Immigrant Policy Center. We are one of nearly 100 organizations who have sent a letter to you all as a council to protect immigrant families and communities by passing the sanctuary ordinance. I grew up in Los Angeles, in District 6, and as a teenager in 2008, one of my parents was arrested and detained by ICE. My father was separated from our family, his freedom and liberties taken away while incarcerated in ICE detention, and deported to Mexico,
'Cause he was
a
illegal.
place my parent had not been to since he was a child. Immigrants are an integral part of our communities and an essential part of the city of Los Angeles since our city's inception. 1.3 million residents, people reside in the city of Los Angeles, 34% of our population. It is time for the city of Los Angeles to pass
General
a
public
permanent
All right, everybody.
policy to ensure that our city resources, property, and personnel are not being utilized for any immigration enforcement. LA should be a city where people can feel safe from immigration enforcement. Immigrant Angelinos should feel safe when applying for city services and not worry that our personal and private information can be gathered and shared with immigration enforcement authorities to target us and our families. President-elect Trump has threatened mass deportations, arrests, and even internment camps. LA must be a leader in defending immigrant families and community. LA must no longer contribute to or enable the deportation and separation of our families. I call on you to vote yes on the sanctuary motion. A robust sanctuary policy is critical to keeping all of our families together, safe, and secure.
Yeah. I hear fucking the great
Good afternoon.
pander.
If you could please remind us of the name
Bravo!
you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak
Knew
to.
he'd pander.
Good afternoon. Leah Ferreira, and speaking on item 52 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for
Oh,
general. Please
Jason
begin with the
Terry's
item.
been
Go
new
ahead.
one today.
Good afternoon. I'm an attorney with the Immigrant Defenders Law Center, also known as IMDEF. As an organization that works alongside immigrants and their families in Los Angeles every day,
There's Herman
IMDEF
walking in.
is acutely aware
He's
of the
changed.
devastating effect collusion with ICE has on our community. Not only are family separations reprehensible at our borders, but they should never take place in our own county. For that
Security?
reason, we urge our elected officials to enshrine much-needed immigrant protections into law and move forward with the Sanctuary City Ordinance. No city resources, property, or personnel should be used for immigration enforcement. Los Angeles, a city of 4.4 million immigrants, should serve as a model for the nation and lead the way towards fully welcoming migrants and protecting all of its residents. Thank you.
I mean, he called a few other names. There's Laser Lady.
Hello, my name is Harriet Elliott, District 10.
Afternoon, and
I
which
didn't think I
items?
would agree with Herman.
So speaker, which items would
Herman,
you like to speak
Herman.
to? Good afternoon.
2.
Item 2?
Item 2, and then general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 2 and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin
I
with the
didn't
item.
think
Go
I'd
ahead.
agree with Herman on anything, but I agree with him completely about alcohol. And I'm seeing lots and lots of, thank you. I'm seeing lots and lots of soliciting for alcohol licenses in the rest of the agenda. And I don't think LA needs it, okay? In my own neighborhood, there's a construction site been going on 3 years, and they solicited our opinion about selling liquor in a nightclub type environment. I told people my opinion. I didn't want to speak for my neighbors, but I said, you don't need to. We don't need it in this neighborhood. We're quiet. Okay. Anyway, I'm going on to my thing about directed energy. This is a new book, 2022. Her name is Patricia Cornwall. I'll bring she actually does things about directed energy, and they're out of sight.
So general public comment?
Yeah. Okay. J.R. Gillum de Texas es un líder, I'll translate myself, es un líder de SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Él tiene clientes de prisioneros. Antes de cometer un delito, ellos oyeron voces diciéndole, mátalo, róbalo. This is CIA, by the way. Okay, I'm going to explain it in a minute. Gillum, Señor Gillum, creyeron que dijeron la verdad, okay? Anyway, he has these as clients. They're never going to get out of jail. None of these people are getting out of jail, no matter what the CIA said to them. Anyway, I have voice to skull, which means the CIA interference with my hearing. Gloria Naylor, a college professor, wrote her book, 1996. I hope you'll read it. And I hope you'll read Livid. It's a very good book.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
Before the next speaker begins, I will call my names. Molina Fetya, Norin Hashim, Shan Wakasa, Shekinah DeCaris, Sikavu Hutchison, Stacy Sagara Bollinger.
So they got Stacy in there. I didn't see Stacy.
Good
Someone
afternoon.
just
Could you
signed a
please
whole
remind
bunch of
us the
names
name
up.
you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
'Cause I don't see Greenspan. I don't see none of those people in there.
I'm speaking to public
Donald
comment.
Harlan's not there.
I feel obligated to remind the district today of the labor, the free labor that my ancestors have built this country and the city of Los Angeles. I am here as a Black woman representing the Women's Leadership Project. I am the program director. We represent youth in a youth-led organization, nonprofit organization in South LA. While Los Angeles City, Black women represent 4%, approximately 4% of the population. We represent 23 to 33% of crime victims.
Where are they going?
There is a global pandemic. There is a global public health epidemic going on right now against violence against Black women, specifically here in Los Angeles County. It is an outrage, and I am outraged that the City Council has not done anything. We have continuously brought our students here to plead and beg for youth centers, for mental health organizations to help them, and we have seen nothing except continuously building dispensaries and liquor stores in our community. Please help Black women.
Smoke. No more dispensaries. No more liquor stores. All that weed and
Good
alcohol.
afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Shekinah Diocaris and general public comment in item 52.
So you have 1 minute for the item and
act
1 minute
right.
for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Hi, council members. My name is Shekinah Diocaris. I am the lead organizer at Filipino Worker Center. I was born and raised in CD6, and I am the daughter of some of the most amazing Filipino immigrants you will ever meet. But there are so many in LA City and beyond, and I am here to support the Sanctuary LA Ordinance. Since the election, we have had over 3,600 people call our organization in fear. These are mothers, children, fathers who are afraid to go to work. They are afraid to go to school. They are afraid to live in the city that they made and only exists because of them and because of their work. They are afraid to file wage theft complaints. They are afraid to complain against their landlords that are harassing them. They are afraid to access the resources that you all hear, even if you are not looking me or anyone else that has been speaking in the eye, the resources you all fought for.
General public comment.
And so what we're asking you to do today is to serve your constituents, to serve the workers, the caregivers that our immigrant community makes up, the people who literally put food on our table. Each one of you were voted into office on the basis that you would protect us and listen to us. So now is the moment to show whether or not you'll step up and do that. I am asking each one of you to defund LA's collusion with ICE, to invest in our immigrant community in the same way they invest in us, and to pass the LA
Yes,
Sanctuary
Dodgers.
Ordinance now. Thank you.
Very. Well, they do know that ICE raids were happening back then. They would roll up and go to a fucking warehouse and
Good afternoon.
bring 20, 30 people out.
You signed up under and the items you'd like to speak
I hope
to.
there's no encampments.
Good
I just want
afternoon. My
them
name
to
is
be
Cecile
sent back
Hutchinson.
right
I'm
away.
speaking on general public comment.
Days later.
I'm with the WOP and the Standing
Don't
for Black
keep
Girls
'em here.
Coalition. I'm here in memory
Wasted money.
of 16-year-old Tiani Theus, who was murdered and dumped on the side of the 110 freeway a couple of years ago. I'm also here to amplify the scores of black women and girls who, according to your own 2023 Human Rights and Equity Report, would comprise 4.3% of the city's population, yet are 25 to 33% of all female sexual and domestic violence victims. Where's the community funding? Where's the support? Where's the resources to treat black femicide like the epidemic public health crisis that it is? Despite our numerous meetings with CD8, rallies, petitions, and youth testimony, we have yet to see this council put its money where its mouth is and give an actual damn about the black women and girls who are most affected by gender-based violence. Council members Harris, Dawson, and Hutt, who are absent right now, we are specifically calling on you to open at least one safe space for vulnerable black girls and black gender-expansive youth in your districts. CDA currently has an unused office space on Crenshaw. Why not turn that into a youth center with some of those prime destination Crenshaw ducats? Show that you give a
Speaker,
damn
your
and
time
stand
has expired.
Yeah. Guessing she's angry because the money is spent towards now the immigrants when it could be spent towards the youth there that she's referring to.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under. And
So what
the items
happens?
you'd like to
Can't
speak
have
to.
it all, like the black
Yes, my
man
name
said
is Sean
earlier.
Mukasa.
He
I'm here
said
for
it
general,
perfectly.
comment
Can't
and
have it
speaking
all.
to item 52.
Nice to help
So you
people,
have 1 minute
but
for the
until
item,
everybody's
1 minute
helped
general.
here,
Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
we can't help
Thank you. I'm a constituent of City District 14, and I've been so for the last 25 years. I'm a
at Herman right there,
Mexican
above the
American
cat.
and a graduate student worker for the University of California. My grandmother was an immigrant. My classmates were immigrant growing up, and many of my colleagues in University of California are immigrants. When Tom Homan, so-called border czar nominated by Donald Trump, was asked about the violence of Trump's deportation agenda, he said deport families together. How dare Trump's administration use our city resources and our people's money for his deportation agenda when one of his billionaire supporters buys votes for $1 million apiece? Angelinos will not stand for this kind of violence in our community. We demand that you support the Sanctuary City Ordinance to protect our neighbors and families in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Sir, you don't ever speak for me, and I'm sure a lot of others. I'm okay with my money going to doing that. Operation
Before the next speaker
deportation.
begins, I will call
So
more
don't speak
names.
for me or
Suzette
my money.
Shaw, Tanya Borja, Tamori Cook, Sky Lee, and Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's there.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and
Who's
the items
Snoop?
you'd like to speak to.
Of course. Good morning, or afternoon rather. My name is Noreen Hashim, and I'll be speaking to item number 2 in general comments.
Item number 2?
Yes.
Okay. So you have 1 minute for the item.
Another
and
one with
minute for
demands,
general.
that's
Please begin
right.
with the item. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Noreen Hashim, and I'm speaking to agenda number 2 on behalf of Nora Enterprises, Inc. This market operation is an owner-operated business which will be known as Beachside Market in Playa del Rey. We have experience in operating similar businesses such as this. I've also been a resident of the greater Playa del Rey area for the last 10 years, and I have engaged with many local members and small businesses of the area and of the community. This location was actually previously run and operated as a market with a liquor license, which unfortunately expired due to the passing of the previous owner. I believe that this market operation under Beachside Market will be meaningful to the local community, and with that, we respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Hello, my name is Tanya Borja, and I'm here to speak on general public comment and Article 52.
And you said 52?
Yeah, 52.
Okay. And before you begin, feel free to move the mic down if that's helpful. So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Borja Valdovinos. I'm an organizer with Scope LA. I am a South Central State native. I come from a mixed family status with the most amazing immigrant parents. I am here to urge you that the City of Los Angeles must pass the ordinance of sanctuary to ensure that no city resources, property, or personnel are used for immigration enforcement. All Angelenos should feel safe accessing much-needed services without fear of their information being shared to federal authorities. Los Angeles needs to be a city where folks feel safe, where our undocumented neighbors make over 34% of the population. We are hardworking people and deserve to feel safe. I call on you, City Council, to vote yes on the sanctuary ordinance. By doing so, you will affirm the city's commitment to our communities, defending, protecting our communities, my neighbors, my friends, and my family. Thank you.
Yep, he is eating popcorn.
Rosalio Munoz.
Hopefully it's the cheese one. The cheese popcorn's pretty good.
Good afternoon. If you could
Good
please.
day. My name is Suzette Shaw. I'm speaking on item 52 as well as public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm a Skid Row resident. I write, talk, and advocate Skid Row from a woman's perspective. Skid Row is a community where Black, middle-aged, elderly women, we have tended to track as one of the #1 demographics displaced into poverty and homelessness decade after decade. As we talk about sanctuary cities, I just like to remind everyone that, my ancestors also migrated from the South in the 50s to come to Arizona and be part of the community here where I've now extended into California. And whereas I say that to remind us that there's still Black folks that are living in less than third world living conditions. As we biblically are told to make room for those who are less fortunate than us, and I agree with that, I think that we should also ensure that we're taking care of the needs of our citizens that we are literally stepping over. People are literally living in containment and degraded to poverty and homelessness. There's no reason why what my ancestors, my mother, my grandmother, and folks went through decades and generations prior, why I should still be going through those same issues today as a Black woman who's 60 years old. We can no longer talk about equality and empowerment while continuing to enforce inequities. I urge you, Marquise, I urge you to take care of the needs of the women with WLP who have reached out to your staff for quite some time. I urge you to make time for the ladies with WLP as well. Please, you directly, Marquise, make time for the ladies of WLP. Please,
Herman.
Thank you.
Good fucking Herman.
Last name for in person is Maya Lucy Shin.
I'm Rosalio Munoz. Want to speak to the general comments and also to item 52.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. You have 1 minute for each. Please
Yes,
begin with the item.
first things, I'm wondering, perhaps that you can respond later to that how strong the interference at the city rights or city property. Back in '73, there were mass deportations in that year, especially in this late spring and in June, and where they would go to what was then Brooklyn Avenue, now Cesar Chavez in Boyle Heights. They'd close off streets 5 or 6 blocks long and then just go in and pick up everybody walking there shopping. It's a big commercial area, still is. And they would stop when people got off the buses. It was a real dragnet. And they picked
General
up
public
people.
comment?
So will this protect us from those kind of practices? Second practice was the county, and I hope we can get the county to do the same thing. They would go into the welfare office, send in immigrations to hear interviews with mothers to find out those that had undocumented and then citizens that were then had the rights to, children that were born here, and try to figure out whether the milk was split and given to the undocumented besides the citizen ones, and then help get them disqualified. Later on, they got even meaner than that. So that kind of participation. So how can we get, well, anyway, I think do this and let's move on to the county.
Huh? Said something about milk.
He needs some milk.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us.
I don't know. That's all I got from it.
Items you'd like to speak to?
Hi, Maya Lucician and item 52.
So you said just item 52?
And general comment?
In general, okay.
Any
So you have 1
relation to
minute for the
Curtis
item and 1 minute
Lucician?
for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I'm Maya. I'm an attorney who has worked with undocumented immigrants and with deported veterans, and I urge you to make Los Angeles a sanctuary city to prohibit the use of city resources for immigration enforcement, so that no city resources fund the unimaginable cruelty of deporting our community members, friends, and family who do so much for this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't think there's too many more people.
Good
And
afternoon.
then we're going to go to the
Please
phones
remind us
here
of the name you signed
momentarily.
up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Good afternoon. My name is Tamari Cook, and I'd like to speak to item 52 as well as general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tamari Cook. I am a resident of CD8, and I'm also the program manager for the Women's Leadership Project and a member of the Standing for Black Girls Coalition. Today, as we push to codify Los Angeles being a sanctuary city, we must also ensure that LA is a place of refuge for not only immigrants, but also for Black women, girls, and expansive gendered youth as well. I am standing before you once again to urge this body to show that you too stand for Black girls. The stats are horrendous, as you have already been reminded. We make up less than 4% of LA's population, but about a quarter of all female victims of crime in this city. What we know is that Black women top the list when it comes to being victimized in LA, whether by gun violence, intimate partner violence, or poverty, which is in and of itself violent, and nothing is being done about it. But what we also know is that life in Los Angeles is even more dangerous if you are an immigrant, if you are a young person who is Black and queer, a Black person who is non-gender conforming, or an immigrant in any of these statuses. But the stats that we use to determine what resources should be allotted are incomplete. Our demands include creating youth centers and safe spaces and dedicated funding for mental health programming. I also urge this body to mandate police and service agencies to use data sets that take into account multiple identity categories such as comprehensive gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, and violence risk, so that the picture is painted as a more full human being. We deserve a full picture of how violence impacts all aspects of the Black community in LA, and we deserve for something to be done about it to protect Black girls in the city of Los Angeles, as we are a sanctuary city for all.
I'm a Black man. There's no justice for me here in America. I should be at the front of the line.
Yeah, well, I'm gay and subject to ridicule and discrimination wherever I go.
Women are oppressed throughout the world. Give it a rest.
So I'm being told that there is no additional public comment in the room, so I believe we've called all the names. Mr. President, would you like to move to virtual public comment?
All right, here we go. Phone time.
Yes, we can move now to virtual public comment and go to the phones.
Caller ending in 7255, unmute yourself.
This is Richard Serrano. I'll be speaking on 52 and general public comment.
Shout out to Richard
So 1
Serrano.
minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
I agree with everyone. Yo estoy con la gente. El 52 debe de pasar. pero todavía falta más en eso.
52
No
most,
nomás que
Hold on just a second so our
No.
interpreter can do their job. We will pause your time. Go ahead.
52 must pass. El señor puede pausar para que pueda yo interpretar.
Okay.
Okay, and before you begin, really quick, I'm going to ask one more time. Can the interpreters, I don't know if it's a volume setting there, but I'm having a hard time hearing you even up here. So if you could increase the volume, I would appreciate it. Sorry, go ahead.
More problems.
le falta mucho a esta 52. No nomás que Los Ángeles no sea santuario el área, pero que no permiten que ICE entre al lugar de Los Ángeles a afectar la comunidad que nosotros tenemos. Tenemos que tener reglas a proteger, no nomás a parar.
There's much needed for this 52 to make it a sanctuary city. We shall not allow ICE to go into.
Con eso diciéndoles a ustedes, gente, no, el 52 es bueno, pero falta algo que los va a proteger a ustedes, que no puedan llegar a las escuelas y alguien pueda llegar a protegerlos a ustedes cuando lleguen. No nomás se paren allí diciendo que no se metieron porque es su trabajo de ellos.
General public comment?
52 is good, but something else is needed, like they are not allowed to go into the schools.
General public comment. Look, 52 is great for the city of LA. It is a sanctuary area. Ladies that came out from the black area that are victims, we just lost a bus driver to violence. I hear you guys. It is a city of Los Angeles, not just District 6 I care about. We need something to protect the people that come out, not just stand by. We didn't use our resources and just stood by and let them do their jobs. We need something to protect them. Like Bruno and Mr. Nunez said, back when the deportation in 73 and in 2008, they deported their parents, their family. We're third, fourth generation here. We shouldn't be fearful of deportation. But the idea of separating anybody from their family is crazy. It's bad enough when it happens during a crime, incarceration. But again, there's a lot of people, I'm reading Smoke and Scan's comments. They are for this deportation thing. I can't,
Caller,
you know,
your
everyone
time's
has their
expired.
own voice.
Next caller?
Hey, we don't have to agree on everything.
Caller
We never
ending
will.
0985. Please unmute yourself.
But I can't just keep. When's enough? When is enough enough, Richard?
0985.
That's what I have to say.
Please unmute yourself. This is your last opportunity.
Because I'd love to talk about that, but you know, I support him on all the other stuff.
So we're
It's
gonna have
just-
to move on.
From
to the next.
Hyde.
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. Peggy Lee Kennedy,
Peggy
Senate
Lee.
Justice Committee. I'd like to speak on 52, 54, and general public comment.
Peggy Lee.
Okay,
I
so
love
you have
it.
2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
52. Thank you for listening to all the public comments in favor of this, but I have to say I'm really opposed to how the carve-outs for the federal government access to our people is written. It should be written as a way to oppose it, not to allow it. We need to review anything the federal government is trying to do to get to our people, and you need to change the wording to reflect that. That's exactly appropriate on protecting the people, not ways of allowing them to get our people. And, you know, the fact is who is with this new police chief? It's quite unsettling that who was responsible in a lot of ways for some really awful things that happened. You know, when people get arrested and were used to get arrested and their name was, you know, Smith, they'd be released upon, you know, whatever happened when they were
So, caller,
arrested.
you've exhausted
And
your 1
then
minute on 52. Please move on to item 54.
Tom, I leave the politics for this
Item
show.
54. This
Yeah.
is a report on the finances of Inside Safe. Correct. You should be looking at this regularly, but both committees waived consideration. There's a new one already going to committee. Look, Venice Inside Safe in January 2023 put 109 people in hotels, but per the report, 53 of these people, almost half, are now outside again. That's almost half. Only 20 of those that are outside again are still connected to the Inside Safe program. What's going on with those other 30 people? Are they even alive? They can't come back to CD11 with the heavy law enforcement effort to displace and house people off of the west side. And out of the people who were actually say they were permanently housed, or the report says, the huge lion's share is time-limited rental subsidies, which basically is going to market rate landlords. And a very small percentage is going to permanent supportive housing. That should be our success. How are we rating the success of this program? We're spending a lot of money, and then we're getting pictures of blank sidewalks. That is not the solution, a blank sidewalk. The success is real permanent housing, and that's how it should be, not a temporary Band-Aid that we're spending a bunch of money on, giving it to market rate landlords, and we don't know the success of that. Where are those statistics? Because people have come to me and told me they're homeless again once the year is up on that subsidy. So how good is that? We need real solutions.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next
Purple
call.
dude, just, it's too much for my lungs every day, and then I got the vaporizer, which is better, and
What's up, nerds and virgins? Brock Landers, Los Angeles private investigator.
and the way my face is right now, I
Items and general public comment, please.
can't really hit the
3
ball.
minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Item 52. I am a registered minister of the Church of Smoke and Scan and Stinks, and I am proud to announce the Smoke and Scan Sanctuary City Adoption Plan. The people that were talking about making LA a sanctuary city, we heard you. Send an email to brocklanders, LAPI@gmail.com, with your name, address, and how many undocumented immigrants you would like to adopt. And if you'll take care of the $500 processing fee, we will email your information to an undocumented migrant who will show up at your house within 5 to 10 days. Don't worry. Smoke and Scan Sanctuary Adoption Plan.
Speaker, I'm going to ask that you
we
speak
don't plan
to
do
this
background
sanctuary
checks
item,
or
not
anything
the
else that might
Smoke
be
and Scan
offensive.
sanctuary item.
This is helping people that need sanctuary get someplace to live. What you want more homeless people? Why do you hate immigrants and want them to be homeless? Listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, bro.
We won't do anything offensive like background checks.
We got him to shout us out.
I'm surprised that we heard multiple people speak today about keeping human traffickers in LA without allowing ICE to go through and deport people like
Speaker,
that.
you've exhausted your 1 minute on item 52. Please move on to another item.
Okay. Hopefully you're, let's see, but besides sales tax, what taxes do they pay? And how many factory owners have contributed to your campaign? You guys want to take advantage of the cheap labor as well.
Speaker, I can't tell which item you're speaking to, so this is your last warning, or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
I'm talking about the sanctuary stuff. How stupid are you, Groot? Didn't you go to law school?
If you were listening earlier, you've
how can you
exhausted
be
your
this
1 minute on
dumb and
that
pass
item.
the bar?
So please
Stop
move on to another
talking
item.
so
I'm
I
going to
can
move you to
finish.
general.
I am talking. You let other people do their whole thing. They did 52, and then they did
you're
your general
1 minute for
public
general
comment
public
on that.
comment. Go ahead. Please start them on general.
On my general public comment, you already told me that. Keep track, smart guy. So anyway, Paul has given his support to the anonymous Smoke and Scan Latina integration kooky kaleidoscope adoption. That's right, ass licka, just like you should, Groot, licking ass.
I love it.
A law enforcement type of guy who is hired by people to stop
Caller
these bad
ending in
individuals.
9519, unmute yourself.
Brock, I'm telling you, Brock, that might have been the best call ever. Might have been the best one, Brock. Might have been the best one.
Please press star 6.
You got him to shout us out.
Yes, my name is Candido Murs, and I'm a smoker scan viewer.
Good afternoon. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Mighty whitey there, brother. Well, the nigger hating Candido doesn't have a problem with, any of the illegal aliens breaking into the country, having all the kids, not learning the language, not ingratiating himself in the culture, just basically taking from the country, all the take, none of the give. And then, I don't really have a problem with ICE so much. I don't like Candido. I don't like that smoking scum guy there. He's really one of the problems there. But I think maybe we could get something done about the illegal aliens. Those are really the ones we worry about. The people who aren't supposed to be here. If you're here legally, what's the problem? ICE come get you, scoop you up, take you back to Mexico or Guatemala or where the hell you're from there, because illegal aliens are dangerous. Look at Marvin the Martian there. I mean, that boy, he used to raise hell there. You saw how they do with Looney Tunes and the damn Wile E. Coyote and Bugs Bunny, and he take a little ray and he blow your little head off. Nothing left, a bunch of ashes there. So yeah, illegal aliens are kind of dangerous there. So that's something we should get done and take care of that.
Speaker, you've exhausted your 1 minute on item 52. Please move on to another item.
I was minding why you that buckethead there. Pumpkinhead. Anyway, shout out to the smoke can community again there. So the other day I'm down on Figueroa with this little Mexican chick, and I paid her $5 to let me toss her her soft taco salad.
So
and
you know the rules.
Yes,
this
sir?
is not currently on the agenda, so you need to tie it to something that's on the agenda. I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Well, I'm talking about the illegal aliens that managed
You've
to
already
make their way underneath the barbed
First of
wire.
all,
And now
that's
they're
not
here.
about that. And second of all, you've exhausted your 1 minute on item 52. So this is your last opportunity, or I'm going to move you to general.
General.
You have 1 minute for general public comment.
Watch the
Thank
caption.
you there, brother. You're a lot of help there. Anyway, shout out to the smoke can community. Anyway, as I was saying, I was down on Figueroa with this chick, this little Mexican chick, and I paid her $5 to let me toss her her taco salad there, and I was trying to figure out, how do you get, that stink of, soft tacos off your hand after you're done there and everything? I didn't have any
This is
wet
general
wipes or
public
anything
comment,
there.
but you need
Yes,
to
sir?
connect it to something that's within the jurisdiction of this city council. If you do not do so, you will forfeit your general comment period. This is your only warning. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I understood, brother, there, but I was trying to understand that, we need some wash-up station down there on Figueroa or whatever, so I can get, or some wet wipes so I can get this, stink off my damn hand.
Okay, so
Soft
he has
tacos and
been
shit
warned
there, because
already.
it gets
Let's move
pretty
on to the
ugly.
next caller. Actually, before we do,
Shout out to Jason.
So just to be clear, general public comment, while quite broad, does need to be something that's within the subject matter jurisdiction of this city. It is not simply an opportunity just for anecdotes. Go ahead. Next caller.
Shout out to Jason,
Caller
man,
ending
and Brock. You
7944,
guys are awesome.
please unmute yourself.
You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Jay.
So caller ending in the last
So
four digits,
funny. He said I'm
7940.
Candido
This
Maris.
is your last opportunity to speak. Please press star 6 to unmute.
Hope he's sitting in the room.
Okay,
I am
so, yes, we can hear you.
I am Linnea Wren from the League of Women Voters, Greater Los Angeles. I have a general public comment.
Okay, so
A
you have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
A community engagement meeting is required by AB 481 related to military equipment in police departments. A 1-hour Zoom meeting was held on October 24th. It failed to provide meaningful community engagement. The LAPD gave the community only 48 hours of advance notice. Commander Cifatelli's beginning presentation took 25 minutes. It served chiefly as a promotion for drones and robots.
No
The
way,
Zoom
man.
meeting then shut down abruptly. When the Zoom meeting was restarted, half the community participants were unable to re-enter. Only 25 minutes remained for community questions and comments. Commander Cifatelli acknowledged that the meeting had not met community engagement meeting needs of AB 481. She promised to hold another meeting, and that has not occurred. An appropriate community meeting is necessary for public trust in the LAPD, and particularly its acquisition and use of military equipment. Thank you.
Don't give them the military grade shit. Don't be giving them none of that stuff, man. That's
Caller ending in
too much weaponry.
2099. Please unmute yourself.
12 gauge autoloader.
Yes, we can hear you. Which
That's
item would you
Candido.
like to speak to?
Hi.
No.
To 52 and
My bad.
general comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1
And guys,
minute.
under over in case he calls in is 6. Under over 6 in case he
Speaking
calls
on
in.
behalf, also with the National Day Labor Organizing Network in Dillon, and so many workers, families, mixed status families across the city of LA, and a lot of folks that work in LA. We remember there's a lot of examples of what ICE has done to families and workers in Los Angeles. We know what ICE represents, and so it's super important that this is finally happening. Without, we don't want to talk about why it took so long, but we're doing it, so that's good. Now that we're going to do it, we want to make sure we do it right. We want this to be a good, bright line policy, and we need the LA sanctuary policy to be an example for other cities across the country. We need some good examples right now, right? And so we know what the policy has been at the county level, the sheriff. That's already been a decision made. It's a bright line policy. That's the best policy. Let's not undermine the county policy by making a policy that makes exceptions or that blurs that bright line.
Caller, your time has expired on item 52.
Yeah, I don't know if he calls in.
And just in general, let's be real. What we're facing, right? This policy is an important first start, but this is the floor. Beg your pardon?
This is general public comment. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in this time, we need good examples. We need cities that are setting a good example. LA's sanctuary policy as a starting point, but much beyond that, we should be asking what else can the city attorney, what else can our council members, what else can the mayor's office be doing, given we're literally facing a federal government that's threatening and making plans and taking steps for carrying out mass deportations. So we appreciate that the city council is moving forward. Let's do it, but let's do it right. Let's set a good example. A bad precedent in the city of LA is going to become worse in other jurisdictions. So let's make a bright line policy. Let's make the tweaks that we need to make today to make sure it's a beacon policy, a bright line example, and we're happy that we're here to work together to make it happen. Thanks all.
Next caller.
Okay, that's the last caller.
Oh,
I understand.
Dang.
Okay, great. That's the last caller. So now we'll move on to the items. Let's start. There was a request to move 24, 27, and 28 forthwith. What's that? There was a request to move items 24, 27, and 28 forthwith. Without objection, that'll be the order. And now let's move on to items available for voting. If you could let us know what's available.
Yes, sir. Item 2 through 4.
People have spoken. That's it.
9 through 11.
They're just going to vote and they're done.
31
We're
through
done.
43. 45.
They left you on hold, Jeffy.
46,
They do that a lot
49 through 51,
to a lot of people.
55 through 58 are before council
I
now.
love that Brock and fucking Jason got in. They both had epic
Okay, do
calls.
any members wish to be heard on these items? Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll.
I got a clip homeboy
Close the
talking
roll,
about smoke
tally
and
vote.
scan. That's funny.
13 eyes.
We've never had
those
them
items are
actually
agreed to. What's
mention
next?
or utter the words smoke and scan.
Oh,
Nobody on the horseshoe.
12 and 44 and Mr. Price.
12, 44, and 47 are before council now.
Okay, and Mr. Price is recusing himself from these items. So
So
we will
Darren
take him off
Jones.
the board, and we will bring up these items now. Let's. Any members wish to be heard on these items? 12, 44, 47. Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tally the votes.
12 eyes.
Great. If someone could bring Mr. Price back into the room, and we'll move, I believe, to item 14. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this was to.
Oh no,
adopt the
Richard.
bylaw
No,
report.
because Richard comes in and
Any members wish
watches,
to
and
be
he
heard?
sees. He likes you
Seeing
guys.
no members on the queue,
And
let's
again,
open the
we're
roll.
not going to agree on everything eye to eye with
Close the roll,
everybody.
tally
Not in your
votes.
family, not anybody.
13 eyes.
Some things you're just not going to see eye to eye on, and that's
Next
okay.
is item 29.
You can agree to
call special by
disagree.
Councilwoman Rodman for comments. Councilwoman
And
Rodman,
I'm all for people that
Thank
want
you
it,
so much. And I
like
know
himself, that want to
today
pay for it
people are
all.
here
That's
because
fine.
they have
But I don't want
really
you to
big
take
and
my
scary
money and pay for
issues
that.
on their mind
Because I
that
don't
hope
want
that
my money going to
council will
that.
take action on.
But
That's
this
just what I'm
motion passing is
Simple.
giving me a lot of joy. We have a lot of streets in Los Angeles that have a really weird shape. They're often little zigzags. They get wider, seemingly in random places, and then they get narrower, also seemingly in random places.
I like
and this is
Richard too.
because of a long-standing city policy that is called spot widening.
I just don't agree with his view
In
on the
1961,
deportation
this policy
plan.
was
That's all.
put in place
Simple.
when the idea was to build bigger roads any time that we had new development here that the city wouldn't have to invest in. And what has happened is that new construction has
I
come
believe
up,
so,
new
Brandon.
commercial or multifamily construction has come up. Those buildings have been forced to
Mom.
widen the roads at those points. But the entire road has never actually been widened, so it's led to this very weird road shape across many of our districts, and actually has led to challenges for pedestrians and cyclists who are using
Like Johnny
these
G?
roads. It's very hard to manage sometimes on these roads, and they're inconsistently applied across the entire city. So it is a very weird system that we have here in Los Angeles, one that costs developers that we are trying to urge to build more housing, more affordable housing, that one that costs them sometimes millions of dollars to follow. And so what we're doing today is moving forward the report from a Bureau of Engineering study that changes this policy once and for all. And I want to thank Councilmember Blumenfield for partnering on this. I want to thank former Councilmember Mike Bonin for partnering with me on this. And I am very excited to move this forward because today the practice of random spot widening that burdens all of the new construction that we are trying to encourage to be built right here in Los Angeles will end. So I hope I have your aye vote. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. And let me just say, thank you, Councilwoman Rahman, for bringing this forward. I was proud to partner with you on this, as this has been long-standing. This basically, it allows us to do smart planning instead of this one-size-fits-all automatic planning. So we still have all the tools in place, but we can be
They
smart
force
about it.
developers to make the
with
road
that,
wider.
I also join you in asking for an aye vote, and no other members
Now
on the queue.
they're
Let's
saying
open
the
roll.
cyclists and everybody else, it's too dangerous to get around.
Close the
It
roll.
impedes people. I beg to differ.
And tally the votes.
Most cyclists know how to ride and enjoy actually
That
turning,
measure is approved.
and
That
not just a
takes us to
straight
item
line
30,
bike
called
ride.
special by
They actually
Councilman
like
Rodriguez
turns.
for comments.
That's why lots of them go up into
Rodriguez,
the
you have the floor.
mountains
Thank you.
and do it off the sides of the roads in the
this
dirt.
item, colleagues, takes a little bit of a
Then there's
play
the
off
ones
of
that
what
like to
Ms.
do it on the
Rahman,
paved
was also
surface,
just talking
fly
about.
down the hills
And
and
it's
the
about making
corners
some
like they're a
corrections
motorcycle.
to our current abatement, the code applying to abatement properties and nuisance properties.
That's it, Rooster.
Nuisance properties impact so many parts of our city and many of our districts, and it is quite a laborious task in order to get the combination of building and safety, the impacts of law
Shut
enforcement
up, Meg.
deployment to address many of these nuisance properties. And so I'm pleased to be bringing forward this item for a vote, which we have been working on very closely with the City Attorney's Office, the Department of Building and Safety, LAPD, and LAFD
Shut up, Meg.
on improving the tools that we need to effectively address nuisance properties. Specifically, the motion seeks key updates to our municipal code that will allow the city to abate nuisance structures and the surrounding areas. The update will provide clarity that allows the Department of Building and Safety to bring the necessary contractors to mitigate hazardous conditions on the properties
Shut
that
up,
the city
Meg.
does not have the capacity to deal with. I look forward to these updated ordinances returning to our council and our continued work to rid the city of nuisance properties that unfortunately have an outsized negative impact on the health and safety of our neighborhoods. And so with that, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Monica.
Other speakers on the
Shut
queue,
up,
and I
Meg.
certainly agree with this is like another motion for smart planning. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tally the votes.
13 ayes.
Okay, that measure is approved. Next item.
I didn't give her that
next is
moniker,
item
that nickname
54.
Monica. That was from
Okay, and
Mr.
this-
Spindler.
Mr. Price. I
Mr.
believe you
Spindler
wanna
was
recuse
talking to
yourself
her
on this
one
item,
day,
item
called her
54.
Monica.
So if we could take Mr. Price off the board.
don't remember why.
This was called special by Councilwoman
But I do
Rodriguez for
remember, I'm
comments,
pretty
so
sure
I
it was
will
Spindler.
Yield the floor
Called
to
her
Councilwoman
Money Cow.
Rodriguez.
So ever since then, she's been
Thank
Money
you.
Cow.
Shut up, Meg.
1 second. So item
It was
54
Spindler, right? Lace
is,
Bacon? Yeah.
The HEA. And one of the biggest problems that I wanted to point out, and I know we had this item in committee, I was unable to stay for the committee, and I don't know if this was discussed, but it was waived out of committee.
Shut up,
And so what I
Meg.
want to just bring to everybody's attention, colleagues, is one of the challenges with these recurring HEAs is the list of pending information that still isn't making its way to formally update this council on the outcomes associated with work associated with Inside Safe. And that is a really big problem, particularly when there is additional money being provided and there's no documented outcomes associated with the work. And so
He's
I
right
just
there,
wanted to bring
Gringo. You
to
don't see him in the
everyone's
corner?
attention, if you look at the report has a multiple
There he is
page
right
list
there. You don't see him?
of pending
Looking right at you.
information that this body sought when it provided the approval in the new structure and how dollars would be released. We gave instructions about the type of information that we wanted in order to continue to afford the resources being invested in Inside Safe. Well, sadly, we've gotten zero information being updated and provided from those early reports that we first received, and that is a really big problem. And so much, especially when we've had conversations repeatedly, when
Not a
we
whole
talk
lot,
about the
son of-
resources that we
son
want
of
to get
corn
from
pop.
the county. Now that Measure A has passed, all of the resources, and I know we're going to have the conversation around the bed rates, but all of these conversations all tie into each other. We deserve to be able to tell taxpayers how their money is being spent. And when we are not able to fully fund street improvements, sidewalk improvements, and the like, how can we sit here and not be able to show the receipts of the work associated with the programs that we're funding with respect to homelessness? And so it's for that reason that I will continue to register a no vote on the HEA. And I want to advise you, colleagues, and urge you, in this current fiscal climate that we are in, we can no longer afford to not be able to show the receipts for the work and the expenditures associated with homeless strategies, particularly now when we continue to see that the county has continued to evade its obligations in funding so many of the important parts of our ability to do this work. They're going to be flush with millions and millions of more dollars, and we are not making effective leverage with these resources. And for that, I ask you to please look at these reports and start asking the questions about how the money is being spent and what are the outcomes associated with this work. We cannot continue to blindly approve
God,
this
it stinks.
time after time with every single subsequent report. And
Sushi
so I
breath.
ask for your no vote, but I will clearly be registering mine. Thank you.
Good Martinez, dude. Effing Martinez.
Okay. Seeing no other
Shut up,
members on
Meg.
the queue, let's open the roll. Close the roll. And tally the vote.
10 ayes, 1 no.
10 eyes and 1 no.
Okay, Councilwoman Hernandez, for what purpose do
10
you rise?
eyes and 1
Yes,
no.
thank you, Council President. We've actually voted on and approved this item just
Look
now.
at her all gussied up. She's trying to get banged out.
All right. Thank you so much, colleagues, for approving this motion. This motion is
Bro, she got the see-through showing the cleavage.
to accept and manage $6,309,880.50 in Encampment Resolution Fund grant funding allocated by the state of California.
I'm
Thank
banging.
you, Councilmember Monica Rodriguez, for seconding this motion.
clack,
Office has secured
clack.
these over $6 million from the State Encampment Resolution Funding Program to address unsheltered homelessness along the 110 freeway from Stadium Way all the way to Avenue 52. This fund will support and bring in up to 70 individuals indoors and into interim housing and then permanent housing. The motion that you all voted on instructs the City Administrative Officer to execute and the necessary documents to accept the ERF grant on behalf of Council District 1 and to serve as the designated grant administrator. Additionally, it requests the controller to establish a new special fund titled Encampment Resolution Fund Grant Arroyo Seco within Department 10 to receive and distribute these funds. Again, I want to thank Councilmember Veronica Rodriguez for seconding this motion, the California Department of Housing and
She
Community
sounds
Development
sick.
for investing in our Care First approach, and our Council District 1 team. Special shout out to Eric Ares, my Housing and Homelessness Director, for throwing down to secure these critical resources and execute this plan.
Be throwing down, eh?
Collaborations like this remind us that when all levels of government work together and funding and resources are brought to the table, we can end
In
unsheltered
Armenia, we
homelessness
called this a
for our
dinosaur.
unhoused constituents. Again, thank you, colleagues. Thank you so much for your support today.
Thank you, uninspired.
Thank you.
We call it dinosaur.
Yes. Councilwoman Hutt, for what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise to ask that the Plum Committee meet at 2 o'clock.
Great. Thank you for the announcement. Plum Committee.
Thank you,
is at 2
unelected
o'clock.
one. She's the only one on that whole entire
What is the
horseshoe
next
that wasn't
item?
elected. She was just installed.
Next would be
Kind of like
item
somebody else.
59, sir, and Mr. President.
We'll tell you
that
who's
was
good for
called
you.
Special for an amendment.
We'll just install them.
Which has already been read in the record.
That's democracy for you.
Okay. Any members wish to be heard on this item?
Even though it's a
59 as
constitutional
amended.
republic, but let's
Seeing no
let's
members
not
on the queue,
quibble.
we can open the roll. Close the roll and tally the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, that measure is approved. What's next? 52, I believe.
Yeah, it kind of sucks we didn't get 3-inch shrimp and all them. He
We
signed
have,
them up.
52, is that
but
correct?
he ain't there.
We have a
Damn, this stuff stinks so. Smells so good. All right, everybody.
Smoke.
Brett, you don't see him right there in the corner? He's right there. His camera's
There's
on.
an amendment and then an amending
Right
motion
underneath
to that amendment, is that
Blob.
correct?
Blob Blumenfield. Good old
Okay, so we'll
Blob.
take up the amending motion first, then the amendment, and then the underlying.
Look at his face. Does he look like he's happy to be there? Ever? Look at his face. It's the face of a miserable man. I can't wait to get in there and get the
I
fuck
have an
out of there.
amendment that I'll ask the city attorney to read it to the record. Thank you.
Yes. So the amendment reads, I move to amend Clause 4 of Motion 52A, that is the original amending motion that was introduced by Councilmember Hernandez, so that it reads as follows. Number 4, amend Section 19.191, subsection B, to read as follows. B, investigate, cite, arrest, hold,
Still doing that
transfer,
in
or detain
Pennsylvania.
any person for the purpose of immigration enforcement,
Counting fake ballots,
except
Michael.
as authorized under
So they don't
Government
lose
Code,
that seat,
Section
that race.
7284.6,
Hold on to anything else they got.
subsection B1, which lists specified serious or
They don't
violent
realize is
predicate offenses.
they
Prior
haven't
to
changed,
conducting a
and they
probable
have
cause
nobody
arrest
that's
for a
likable.
violation of 8
They're in real
USC,
trouble.
Section 1326, subsection A, and
Especially
subsection B2,
if that orange
or
dude
transferring
comes
a
back and
suspect
has the
to a
country
federal
running again.
immigration agent based on a probable cause arrest for 8
If it's
USC,
anything like it was
section
when he was running
1326,
before or ran
subsection
before,
A, or subsection
or
B2,
even
city
better,
personnel shall obtain approval
look out.
from their employing departments,
Look out.
designated
The
immigration
next ones will take the
affairs
baton and
liaison.
run with it.
And I believe this is
And I
being
really
seconded
believe
by
that. I
Councilmember
think the
LaPlante.
country is sick and tired, and they spoke up.
Okay.
So,
They're
Mr.
speaking with their
President,
wallets.
The first vote will
That's
be
it.
on Amendment 52B, which was just read by the city attorney, sir.
Just my opinion.
And to clarify, 52
He'll be gone
is
December
amending
8th, day after
52A.
my birthday, Miss Katz.
So we
Thank
vote
you.
on the amendment, the amending motion,
Okay.
and the amendment,
Okay.
and then the underlying bill.
So he's
No,
got
unfortunately, sir,
couple weeks
the way
left.
the vote goes is
Max.
last introduced, it gets voted first. So since 52 was introduced
maybe
just
almost
now,
3 weeks.
the vote would be on 52B, sir.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. So the what's before us is 52B, which is the amending motion to the underlying amendment.
The first year was golfing? Well,
and
I
Mr.
mean,
Harris
if that's
Dawson,
even true, and he spent the
requests to
entire year
speak. Mr.
golfing
Dawson,
and ran the
Thank you.
country that
Thank you
well,
so
I
much,
hope he
Mr.
keeps
Chair,
golfing.
and members, first I want to, before I begin comments on what's
Just
before us
saying.
now, I want to just really give a heartfelt congratulations And thank you to the members of the council who've been working on this issue for
Think
in
so,
excess of
Daniel?
a year.
That's a long time, but-
And just came together the last week along
We'll
with the
see.
mayor.
I don't know if it's that
to
long.
get this in front of us now.
Definitely back-to-back
in
election. We
light
got 8
of the
years.
national situation that we have here in the
See where we are
US,
in 8 years from now.
with our
I don't even know if I'll be
election and
alive.
with the sort of virulent espousal of anti-immigrant sentiment, particularly anti-Latin American immigrant sentiment, coming from Washington and embraced by a good amount of the country, although rejected here in Los Angeles. What I put before you today, along with Mr. McCosker, and after long discussions with the makers of the motion, is a narrow set of sentences that closes a loophole that I believe leaves the city vulnerable. And that is in the case where an LAPD officer has contact with a person who has a prior conviction for a violent felony, was deported, and it can be confirmed that they were deported, and they are back in the United States. What we had proposed wouldn't allow LAPD to take some time to look at that person and to communicate with ICE in this case. What this amendment does is allow our officers to do that, which is the current policy for the city of LA. And according to LAPD records, that's been invoked 2 times since 2018. So it is not something that is a regular practice. In fact, it's very irregular. It should stay that way, frankly, but we want to make sure that we have all the tools we need to do, that we need in order to carry out the work of the city.
To make sure the violent felon is okay here in our country.
Okay. Do any other members wish to be heard?
Telling
on
you
this
right
amended
there.
Motion? Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Insane,
so much,
right,
Council
Giant?
President.
Insane.
You know, there was a lot of back and forth around this discussion. I think that we have what was presented here is something that will be good for the city. And I know that if it's not good for the city,
Oh yeah, Oscar, I heard about that. They were putting them in some of them in the academy.
this very specific issue you just said.
That's what a Democrat city does.
no other
They
members
intertwine everything together, so there's no way of rooting them all out. It's a cancer. You got to stop it.
Close the roll.
Got to cut out the tumor, but
Tally
when the
the
tumor's spread everywhere, it's impossible.
13 ayes.
Great, thank you.
Death
that
is
been adopted.
inevitable.
So 52A is now amended as per 52B, and that amendment is before us. If any colleagues...
I could see some shit like that in
speak on
40, 50 years.
A
I'll
as
be
amended.
dead. I wouldn't care, but California seceding from the country,
Seeing no members on the queue, we will vote on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the underlying bill.
and all the liberal scum
Close
come
the roll.
here because they can't live anywhere else. They've been forced out of the rest of the country.
Close the roll. Tally the vote.
All the idiot celebrities.
Okay, so 52 has now been
I'm
amended, and now we can
moving.
take up the item
No,
as
I'll
amended.
just live in my house in Malibu here and stay in the state. Fucking douchebags. Like we give a fuck what they do.
Just to clarify, Mr. President, 52B passed, so the next vote should be
I guess I shouldn't speak for other
52A,
people.
which
I don't give a
is
fuck what they do.
The amendment
Or what they say.
introduced by
I shouldn't speak for
Mr. Soto
anybody
Martinez and Ms. Rahman as amended.
I don't know,
by
Sky, but I hope.
52B.
Hopefully he took all his shit and got the fuck out of here.
Ms. Hernandez, sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what we just voted on.
No, what the council just voted on is Mr. Harris Dawson's 52B, which.
Yes, we voted on that, and that passed.
So
And
the
then
next vote should be on
Look at his face.
52A, motion Hernandez Rahman as amended by
which is,
52B.
that's exactly what we just did. We voted on it as amended, but we can do it again. I'm happy to do it again. We voted on the amending motion, it passed, and then we voted on the 52A as amended by that motion.
Little lover's quarrel?
But if we wish to do it again, that's fine with me. We just did it.
Where was she the whole time?
Right, I asked if anybody wanted to be heard, and then
Kangaroo
take up
court.
the whole motion now as amended.
You know, it's a council, not a court, but still, you know what I mean? Kangaroo council, kangaroo court.
Okay, so let's
Morons.
now take up 52A as amended. So the
No
basically
different than
the
Dalton.
amended motion.
Other than they got more money to swindle.
Okay. So anyone wishes to be heard?
More
Some
people to
members now on the
swindle.
queue. So we'll start. Yes, I see you on the queue. You're the first one on the queue. So we're now. Is there a point of inquiry or before we speak to the? With a point of order, go ahead, Ms. Rahman.
Speak on the full item. So I think we just need to know when is the time to do that.
I think what we're saying is now is the time to do that. So we're going to now speak to the item as amended. Councilwoman Hernandez, a point of order, or you want to speak to the item?
Point of order, please.
Go ahead.
I'd like to move forward that we do this with urgency clause, the last motion that we voted on.
On A? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you probably want to do that after we vote on the whole thing to get the whole thing moved with an urgency clause.
Okay.
But so that, I think that would be appropriately entertained once this passes, after people speak to it, to ask for the urgency clause.
Okay.
My favorite woman?
Okay, move a motion on that.
No, I didn't see my girlfriend in there
Any other
today.
points of order before we go to the
I haven't seen her in a little bit. Or
Seeing
Mr.
no other
Spindler.
points of order or inquiry,
Oh, I'm sorry,
Ms.
Mr.
Hernandez to
Sachs.
start the discussion.
I miss Mr. Sachs, man.
Councilwoman Rahman.
Mr. Harlan was coming, and now he's not.
Thank you so much for
I miss them all.
allowing me an opportunity to speak on this.
It's like the
And
Justice
thank you to
League.
everyone here in the
All these
audience who came out
superheroes.
in support of this critically important
And
piece
we're
of
missing a few of the
legislation.
superheroes.
After 18 months, I believe, almost, since we put forward this motion, my colleagues, Councilmember Hernandez and Councilmember Soto Martinez and I introduced this. We have a draft of an ordinance before us, and I think the timing couldn't be more important. We began this process over a year ago knowing that we can't predict the future, and that Angelenos deserve to be protected no matter who is in power at the local level and at the federal government. While this body had previously passed a resolution declaring Los Angeles a city of sanctuary in 2017, those policies were not codified into municipal law. Our current relationship with federal immigration agencies is shaped by internal LAPD policies, some of which have been there for decades, and an executive directive issued by former Mayor Eric Garcetti. And these policies have been good and important to ensure that Angelenos feel safe here calling on the city for support and calling on city resources to meet their needs. But it does mean that at the flip of a switch or the change of an administration, these policies can be rescinded. Evidence has shown, studies have shown over and over again that when there are heightened fears around immigration enforcement, immigrant communities are more reluctant to call on the city for help, to ask our city for resources, even in cases of domestic violence and other emergencies, even in cases of urgent need. We must be a city that ensures that Angelenos are able to lean on it for help. And this new ordinance would codify this approach and give it the force of law. And I want to thank you all for your support in passing this unanimously last year, and I hope that we can do the same today at a very changed moment in our country's history.
We know they're going to pass the ordinance. And like I said, hopefully the federal government decides not to give them any funding.
Thank you very much.
Do you?
Colleagues,
But we're going to do
I
us
was a
too.
member of the council
Good
during
luck.
the first Trump administration. A few of us were here during that time.
That's 12 Trumps.
And we know that so often members of our community, of our immigrant community, are, even without this administration, have lived in fear.
Shut up, Meg.
And have consequently been among those with the highest rates of underreporting of crime or assaults or violence against them out of fear for these very circumstances. It's why the Los Angeles Police Department has honored, going back to the 1970s, Special Order 40, that prohibits the cooperative relationship with federal immigration agencies.
Shut up, Meg.
This was again reinforced in 2017, as Ms. Rahman indicated, by Mayor Garcetti with Executive Order 20. And so we're talking about really, we're not talking about very substantive changes, but we are still talking about the same underlying fear that is affecting so many of our communities. And it's for that reason that I'm proud to have been a part of this council when we introduced an interim control ordinance that refused the cooperation with many of the facilities that were separating families. We prohibited those activities from occurring in the city of Los Angeles. There have been a host of efforts that we have engaged in because we recognize the duress of so many members of our community. And we don't have a safer city if people are living in fear and hiding in the shadows and unable to come forward and cooperate with law enforcement in manners that we need them to, particularly because we want to keep them safe. We want to ensure that they are cooperative in communicating with law enforcement officials to make sure that if they are either the victims or the witness of a crime, their testimony is going to be instrumental to making sure that this city is safer for everyone. I also want to uplift and thank some of our other city departments that have been doing God's work in this. From our LA Library Department, who also provides a host of resources and points of access for people to be able to garner information, to our Community Investment for Families Department, and providers like MALDEF, Chirla, Carecen, Clínica Romero, and so many others. They're providing critical resources that help to provide that important access and information. And of course, all of our consul generals, all of the consulates that have made themselves available. I know just yesterday I was meeting with Ambassador Moctezuma Barragan from Mexico. We were meeting with our Consul General from Mexico yesterday, and everyone is working to find the best path of being supportive.
Thank you, Klug.
And to help be a resource in these very difficult and terrorizing times for people. But I also want to make it clear is that while we can provide all of these resources, and as critical and as important it is, we know that they still remain under duress, that many people in our community remain fearful. And so while we are providing all of these protections that substantially are not really different from what we've already been practicing as a city for decades, we must continue to encourage and help support one another during these very difficult times, and to help aid people where they need it, because they are only going to be pushed further into fear. And it's for that reason that I know this, while important, doesn't really get to the root of what we know we're going to be grappling with as a city, as a country. And so for that, colleagues, I'm grateful that we are codifying this policy, but it has, to be clear, been our practice. And we will continue to make that our practice here in the city of Los Angeles, because we recognize that we are a city built by immigrants. Thank you.
The last 62 days, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be a roller coaster.
Thank you. Councilmember Price, followed by Councilmember.
It's going to be a roller coaster because they're the kind of people that if they can't have it, they're going to burn it down.
Today I rise to voice my strong support, along with you, for this ordinance. As a representative of one of the
Shout out to
largest
fucking Grady.
communities in the city, ensuring the safety and well-being of my constituents is a top priority. Given the re-election of Donald Trump and the consistent hate speech towards undocumented people and mixed-status families,
Hate speech.
I can't think of a more pressing issue than this one today. Sanctuary cities are not just a legal framework, but they represent a moral commitment to upholding human dignity, protecting families, and ensuring that everyone, regardless of their immigrating status, can live without fear. Establishing this ordinance will allow us to ensure that crimes do not go unreported from fear of deportation. It will permit us to build trust between mixed status families and law enforcement, and it will help keep communities intact. Now it's time to make our message loud and clear. Trump has had his say, but now it's our turn to respond with decisive action and full force of law on our side. The City of Angels must live up to its name. We must be angels to our undocumented neighbors, guaranteeing that they can live with stability and without the constant threat of deportation. By fostering opportunity and inclusion, we empower all of our neighbors to contribute fully to the strength and success of our communities for generations to come. Colleagues, I urge an aye vote on this ordinance.
All they do is fight American law, but yet you're telling me they're Americans?
Yeah, followed by Councilmember.
And then they get mad when I say they're anti-American?
You know, colleagues, I'm really glad we're doing this. I think this is a step in the right
I know you don't want to follow the law that was written before you. I get it.
Community. But I would also be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to say a few things that are on my mind.
Remiss or remiss?
Since
I don't
November
know.
5th,
Let's
2024,
go. Smoke.
I have been called very often by different stakeholders asking me what happened to the Latino community and why did they shift over to voting red. And the only answer that I can really think about is my own actions from 2020, when I vividly remember talking to leaders in the California Democratic Party, and I told them, you are at risk of losing the Latino voters if you do not start to utilize your own power to begin conversations to elevate to the national level the interest in the Democratic Party caring about true immigration reform. And all of that fell on deaf ears. So instead, what you're starting to see is that people went with the party that at minimum is willing to start to talk about it. Maybe not in their best interest, but they were willing to at least talk about it. So today, to all of the future federal leaders that are going to take over very soon, I tell them this, that with this action today, what the LA City Council is trying to say is that we're not gonna allow for the actions that once upon a time took place in 1954, where with Operation, I don't choose to use a second word, or what happened in the 1970s when they did massive deportations and broke families. Los Angeles is not going to let that happen. But instead, what I hope this starts is a conversation to potentially get what we got back in 1986 under a Republican administration, where we actually had something related to true immigration reform with the Immigration Reform and Control Act under President Ronald Reagan. I hope that what this does really does stem a new conversation about the future of immigration reform, because in Los Angeles, what we want to do is protect and make sure that our communities are not broken apart. So I will also be a yes vote today.
Oscar, remember, you're Latinos. You're supposed to vote for Democrats.
Thank you so much, Council President. First
You're
of
not
all, I wanna
Latino
thank
if you
all the folks
don't.
that were part of this legislation. Councilmember Rahman, Councilmember Hernandez, and others who helped shape this. And of course, the advocates and the organizations and immigrants who came here today to give their own testimony about why we need to make the city of LA a sanctuary city. Because this law is about making Los Angeles, through law, a sanctuary city and ensuring that all Angelenos can interact with our government without the fear that Donald Trump's deportation squad is around the corner. This is a man who appointed the guy who put kids in cages to be his immigration czar.
Who built the cages?
A man
Obama.
who said he would deport every single undocumented person in the United States, including the people that have been here for decades. And just yesterday, he confirmed his plans to send the U.S. military into cities like Los Angeles to carry out his orders. As I was growing up in Los Angeles, my own parents were undocumented. And at the time when my dad dropped me off or picked me up from school, he wasn't worried that ICE agents were going to be there. When him and I and my family members were out in the streets, street vending, we didn't have to worry about being stopped and asked for our papers. And when we got home, we felt the safety and dignity that we all deserve, because the fear of deportation is not present the way it is now. And over those years, my family and my parents were able to provide for our family. They even bought a house, and they both proudly became American citizens over the years. So that whether you know it or not, every single person in this room and every single person watching knows someone like my parents, and they know someone that will be affected by these policies.
What's up, Wes?
And we know that women should be able to report domestic violence and seek justice. Kids should be able to go to school, and families should be able to go to public libraries without the fear that doing so would tear their families apart. So by passing this law today, we are making sure that we are keeping our friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers safe. But I gotta say, this is not the end, this is the beginning. We are, in a few weeks, we're gonna have to be leading a movement against this terrible, terrible regime that has taken over Washington, D.C.
Told
and I
you.
think there's many more things that the city of Los Angeles could be doing to make sure that we are the best city, the best model city for America. So we got a lot of work to do, but today, let's celebrate the win And again, thank you so much, everyone that worked on this today.
The win. You haven't even won yet. 62
Councilmember
more
Harris
days.
Dawson, followed by Councilmember De Leon.
It's going to get wild.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the members who brought this forward and shepherded it through. Couldn't have been more timely, and all the members who've spoken today. I just want to reiterate to the people of Los Angeles who are listening, those of you who are around, as Ms. Rodriguez alluded to, when this happened the first time, it was very different for this city. I talked about last week that in South LA,
Sit, Andy.
a block away from Normandy Avenue Elementary School, ICE trucks parked with people just waiting to watch families go to school and decide which ones they should question or stop. You saw people in the parking lots, ICE agents in the parking lots of grocery stores, knowing full well the people most dependent on supermarkets are people with small children. And they just wait and talk to people. And this time, the proposal is that plus the United States military. And there's no reason to believe, if we know anything about the person who just won the election, we know that their bark is their bark, and their bark matches their bite. This puts at our doorstep a situation that can interrupt the peace that we have, the productivity that we have, and this place where, with all of our problems and shortcomings, people have, one, decided to live, and two, people can raise their family. The other big dynamic that we have to prepare for, in addition to what we've done today, and I agree there's much more work today to do, people don't call the police and report crime. People don't call the police, especially, and report domestic violence related crimes. And sometimes, and this happened in my district, a house catches on fire and no one calls the fire department because nobody wants to invite the government in and risk deportation because you're trying to put a fire out. And so we have a big job ahead of us. This gives us the foundation and gives direction to our city departments to do, frankly, what they've been doing for decades and generations, but codifies that and puts us in a position to scaffold and build upon that, to maintain Los Angeles as the kind of place where we can all live in peace, we can continue our productivity, and where we can lead the nation as a city of immigrants.
Sounds scared.
Councilmember De Leon, followed by
Sounds
Councilmember
scared, dog.
Hernandez.
Oh, here he is.
Thank
Last
you
time,
much,
huh?
Mr. President.
Look at the beard, guys.
And I also want to
This fool lost.
recognize,
He's been drinking,
Mr.
not
Hernandez,
shaving.
Mr. Soto-Martinez,
He was
and
always
Ms.
shaving.
Rahman, for bringing this
Look at him.
measure forward. This is very special to me, in particular, given that I am the original author of Sanctuary State. And trust me, back in 2016, it was no easy feat in the state legislature to move forward and making California not a
He looks all
particular
disheveled.
city, but the whole state of California, the fifth largest economy of planet Earth, an actual sanctuary state, being the first
Off the wagon
state,
for a
in the
Sheeler,
nation
Dark.
to declare ourselves, but with legal teeth, not symbolic, not performative, but with real symbolic teeth. So much so.
Extra gray on the
that then
side.
Attorney General
Wasn't that gray before?
Justice, Jeff Sessions,
boy.
actually came to California, came to
He
our
knows the free ride's gone.
Sacramento, to be very specific, announced that the Department of Justice would be suing the state of
Lame
California
duck.
and myself, and we would be going to court.
Yep. Shout out to the lame duck.
Well, we made sure that we could pass constitutional muster, understanding that once we moved forward a measure like this, that we'd be sued and litigated almost immediately. That there were limitations within our powers to make California a sanctuary state, given the fact that ICE agents from Homeland Security
No gray on the
enforce
toupee.
federal immigration laws.
It's only on the
What
sideburns.
can we do as a state, and what can we do as a city that reflects our values and our principles?
Hell yeah, he's a gigolo, Concrete. They don't like him because he's like the only alpha there. The rest of them are a bunch of betas.
To aid or abet, to collaborate,
But
to
he looks all
cooperate,
fucked up now because he
with
lost
folks
his
to
election
recognize
last week
based on the color of one's skin
to this
or
communist chick.
based your legal status.
Cop hating
So
communist
that battle
chick.
was not easy by no stretch of the imagination. And dealing with the lawyers and dealing with then Attorney General Eric Holder, who is at Covington Law Firm right now, and working with him, knowing that we would be litigated, and we would actually end up in a federal court. So much so, we actually ended up at the U.S. Supreme Court. We went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, even with Trump nominees on that Supreme Court. And we passed muster. They ruled actually in our favor, knowing that we cannot utilize.
No, it ain't buttoned up. He ain't shaved.
Utilize local resources to aid or abet.
Looking bad.
ICE
Look a little rough.
agents to detain and eventually deport
More
individuals
gray.
due to their legal status. LAPD is to serve and protect. LAPD is to enforce our local laws here in the city of LA, just like in San Diego, just like in Santa Ana, just like the county sheriffs as well as highway patrol. Those are not federal tax dollars. Those are local and state tax dollars to be utilized for the enforcement of our own city and state laws. So as we move fast forward in 2017, and I thank you for the individuals who were here back in 2017 and for your leadership as you took Special Order 40, which was far-reaching and way ahead of their time with the LAPD. I got to recognize LAPD for that. But you took Special Order 40 and you made it into an executive order, in this case, an executive directive 20. So sort of kind of copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste as we move forward. And here we are today with this motion.
Nah, he never wears a tie, I don't think.
Codify or we make it statute.
But it's always, he's always neat. Looks
It's
a little
obviously
unneat.
the right thing to do, but we have to be very careful too. Que no engañamos a la gente. That we don't mislead folks too. That there's some special force field that we have because of our undocumented status. Because aside from being the original author of Senate
Wait, he's got a force field?
That is correct.
Dang.
And along with the hate that came with it, and along with all of the death threats that came with it, and I had to have armed security for quite a number of years of all the death threats that came with it. More importantly to me, why it hits here harder is because I'm the youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a third-grade education who came here as an undocumented immigrant herself, and a woman who's just as American as anyone else. And the sad part about this, and I think we all agree with this, is that we have so many of our people here still undocumented because of the lack of leadership in Washington, D.C. I know Ms. Imelda Padilla made reference to IRCA, the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, that then was passed by then President Ronald Reagan in a bipartisan manner with the Democratic leadership of the legislative branch of Congress. Fast forward 40 years, close to 40 years, we're playing defense. We're playing defense, we're playing defense, and we're in reactive mode. But so be it, because that is what it is now. Given the fact now that they have the trifecta. They have the bicameral legislative body in the Congress, the U.S. Senate in the lower house, the executive branch, and now the U.S. Supreme Court, because they play the long game in terms of the federal bench as well as the U.S. Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we don't do that right there. But that's why it is important that we move forward with this measure. I do want to recognize the folks have moved it forward together. I'm happy that we've been able to establish it, so it wasn't that complex. Didn't take a lot of legal deep analysis, or amendments to do this. Just look it up, cut and paste, and we move forward. But I want to thank you, and I want to thank Council President, for what I would believe to be a modest, moderate, and appropriate amendment as well, too. Trust me, I dealt with the same issue up in Sacramento, and you don't want to serve on a silver platter to the Trump administration, and more importantly, his political operatives, to do what they will most likely do. And we saw what they did in the presidential elections with some of the commercials. So I just want to raise my voice to support this measure as we move forward with Senate Bill 54, which evolved into ED 40, which now evolves into item number 52. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on, let's wrap this shit up, B.
Councilmember Kukui.
It's a long-ass meeting, dude.
Council President, the city of Los Angeles is the best city in the entire nation because of the 1.3 million immigrants that make this city run. From the food on our tables to the people in all the different economies, it's the 1.3 million immigrants that make our city the best city in the nation. And today,
Trump
the
hired
message to that
Dr.
community
Oz
is that the City Council of Los Angeles
to
is
lead
with
the
you.
Center
We are with you. We
for
will fight
Medicare
alongside
and
you. We will
Medicaid
protect
Services.
you, and we'll work together to make sure that our
Oh,
families
look
stay
who's
whole.
here.
And that's what today represents. Thank you, colleagues.
We got Stinks. We
Councilmember
just had
Corrigan.
your replacement in here. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mr.
See, I
President.
told you I could replace you.
Thank the
Nobody would
authors
care,
and all of
Stinks.
my colleagues
They
today
didn't
for
even
their,
miss you, Stinks.
important
Not one
comments,
time.
about this
Because they
important
doesn't
step that we're
care
taking
no
today.
more because you
Um,
doesn't care.
And particularly about
come
the
here.
need to ensure that our immigrant community here in Los
Come on.
Angeles
on.
understands that we
Come up here.
understand their fear that Councilman
Come on.
Rodriguez so eloquently described, and why that is important that this council, especially at a time like this, especially when we've heard the announcements that we've heard from the president-elect, that we understand their fear.
They don't wanna
and that
utter
we
his
will
name.
take action to ensure that we're not a party to the destruction of families and the disruption and division of our city. And so I think it's very important that we move forward today with this this measure,
Good
and
boy.
I thank the authors for
Good
that.
boy.
I also
Man.
want to add a little historical context because it's important for the public to understand a little bit of that as well, and what we're not doing. Because I know that, you know, this phrase sanctuary city has become the subject of the most immense demagoguery around this country by, you know, folks on the left and the right, frankly. And so I want to make sure we understand, you know, what the city's history on this has been. Some folks in the public even described how embarrassing it is that the city hasn't taken action on this earlier. Well, 45 years ago, Police Chief Daryl Gates, not seen as a friend to communities of color or vulnerable communities in this city, Daryl Gates established Special Order 40. So when Fox News says
smells so nice.
that we're doing something wild
take a
and
bath?
crazy here, let's remember that 45 years ago, this city enacted Special Order 40. And Special Order 40 has stood without change through 10 chiefs of police and 7 presidents of the United States of both parties. Why? Because it is essential to public safety. First of all, because it's essential to ensure that our immigrant communities don't have to live in fear that the Los Angeles Police Department is going to be going and enforcing immigration laws, but also so that we can ensure that our immigrant communities know that they can come forward to the Los Angeles Police Department and be witnesses to crime and report crimes and not be in fear that if they do the right thing, that they or their relatives will face deportation. That's why Special Order 40 mattered 45 years ago and still matters today. Since 2014, for the last 10 years, it has been the policy of the Los Angeles Police Department not to honor any ICE request to hold an individual otherwise eligible for release from custody absent a judicial determination of probable cause for that detainer or a valid warrant from a judicial officer. For the same reasons, because we want to make sure that our communities, our residents know that we are not going to be a party to expediting their deportation or to enforcing the federal immigration laws. Because the Los
Played right
Angeles
into their
Police
hands.
Department
Their
does not
voter
have the
base has.
resources to do that. It's not our job, and it's not consistent with the values of our city or our city council or the Los Angeles Police Department to do that. The LAPD has never participated and will not participate in the voluntary program established under federal law to allow LAPD to enforce immigration laws. We have never done that, and we are not going to do that. And then in March of 2017, under Mayor Garcetti, of course, there was the executive directive, his executive directive number 20, to even broaden and make clear that Los Angeles will not be a party to ICE efforts here to enforce federal immigration laws, where the primary purpose is federal civil immigration enforcement. No employee of the city would assist or cooperate with or allow any city monies or resources to be used to assist or cooperate with those sorts of federal actions. So this has been the practice and policy of this city in one way or the other for almost a half century, and it has worked. And so we need to, and the progress that we've made in improving this to make sure that our communities feel safe has also been beneficial, not only to those communities, but to all Angelenos, because it makes all of us safer. So I hope that the demagoguery that undoubtedly will begin at a national level as soon as we pass this ordinance will also be mindful of the fact that by enacting this ordinance, by the continuing practices that we've been engaged in the city for 45 years, we are actually keeping Angelenos safer. That has to be a part of the story of what we're doing. We're not only just keeping immigrant communities safer, we're keeping all of us safer by enacting this ordinance. So again, I want to thank my colleagues for their hard, difficult work in creating an ordinance that actually codifies all these great practices that we've been engaged in. And when the amendments come back to us, I will be proud to support this ordinance.
Thank you. And I want to add my voice as well to the chorus of strong support for this measure.
Max.
While we're not making any big policy change, as many of my colleagues have expressed, we have been doing this. We have been a pro-immigrant city for a number of years. We know that there is a target on our back from this president-elect, and what we are doing here is we are hardening our defenses. We are codifying our good policies on protecting immigrants. We are making that bold statement that we stand with our immigrant community, and we are hardening our defenses, and that's why I join all of my colleagues and thank my colleagues for raising this in strong support. Councilwoman Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to move to add an amending motion 52C to request that the City Attorney's Office draft an urgency clause with this ordinance, please. Thank you.
Great. Mr. McCosker seconds.
So
hot seconds, lots of seconds. But so without objection, we can include that, or do we need a separate vote on that?
No, Mr. President, it might be best, just to make it clear, to have a formal vote on 52C, and if that passes, then on 52A as amended by 52B and C. But first, if the council can vote on 52C to request the city attorney to add the urgency clause, please.
Okay. Seeing no members on the queue, we'll open the roll for 52C, the urgency clause, asking the city attorney to include that. So open the roll, close the roll, and tally the votes.
13 ayes. And the final vote will be 52A as amended by 52B and 52C, sir.
Okay. I think all the members have spoken already, so let's open the roll, close the roll, and tally the votes.
13 ayes.
Yes, and we'll move this forthwith without objection. Ms. Hernandez, do you have something, or is that what you were going to request?
I just wanted to request that we move it forthwith.
Got it.
Thank you.
We're on the same page.
It's the first time I've seen him smile. So there you go. Of course they're going to pass it. Look, he's got the Trump sign up.
And Mr. Herman, you are standing up during speeches, blocking other people behind us, which you know is disruptive. Do not do that again. Do not stand up and block people. Even though you're wearing your Batman uniform, we know who you are, and don't do it.
And Mr. Chair, just for the record, Mr. Herman has been warned before, so that is his second warning. He is eligible for removal. And Mr. Herman, I would remind you that you are already on probation.
Okay.
Double secret probation? Does he have like an ankle monitor? Does he have to take a piss test?
Without objection, they're posted and referred.
That clears the desk,
That's his parole officer.
Colleagues, any announcements?
Or probation officer.
Mr. McCosker for an announcement.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On this historic and serious day, I have
Old Buckethead had to get up in
I do
here.
realize you'll be the judge of whether this is fun but I've got a little video to play.
Oh, fuck, here we go. Is Tiffany Hinyard in it?
Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. So, last week, I had the opportunity to travel to Croatia with a delegation of
Croats.
residents from the 1-5 with the port,
We got
the
a-
airport,
we got a
Department
knee
of
bend
Water
to the
Power,
Croats.
Chamber, tourism, the sister cities, and we had a number of great meetings that I'll report on later to the different constituencies. But at the hot core of this meeting, we had an opportunity with the great help of our United States Ambassador to Croatia, Natalie Reyes, to host the Croatian Olympic Committee. And we made a presentation to the Croatian Olympic Committee headed by Zlatko Mateša, who is on my left, the right side of this, right side of the screen. We made a proposal that in San Pedro, because we have 35,000 Croatian immigrants and Croatian Americans in our community, that we would host Croatia House for the 2028 Olympics. We signed an MOU with the Croatian Olympic Committee that was also witnessed by to the right of me, between me and Natalie there. That is the former president of Croatia, who is a member of the IOC, and we are now in the planning stages of making sure that we have a beautiful event in San Pedro where we host cultural, artistic, athletic exchanges in San Pedro during the entire span of the Olympics and the Paralympics. And so it was great fun. I'm really appreciative to the U.S. Ambassador who gave us space to be able to conduct the negotiations. And of course, Janice Hahn was a big part of this trip across the Croatian country. But I just wanted to make this announcement that it's very exciting for the folks in the harbor area that we will have Croatia House in LA,
Excited.
in San Pedro during the Olympics.
I am excited.
Thank you. Colleagues, additional announcements. Mr. Krikorian? No? Ms. Rodriguez?
Thank you, colleagues, for
Of
adjourning.
course.
Adjourning.
Adjourn.
Are there any additional announcements, colleagues?
All right, so
Seeing no announcements, I would ask everyone in the chambers to rise as we move into adjourning motions, and we'll start.
All right, all they're going to do is do some remembrance of some adjourning motions. So we're definitely going to cut the cord here. That'll give us 4 or 5 minutes of our life back. But shit, yeah, man. We got the meeting in. That was fun. Not too many regulars. Hopefully, tomorrow we get some more, 3-inch shrimp, Spindler, rest of the gang up in there. Hopefully Donald Harlan and Spindler show up. We will be live tonight, so please keep the notifications on if you want to join us at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight for our normal Taco Tuesday fun. Other than that, thank you for the likes, the love, the donos, the thumbs ups. They work and they're free. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a fantastic Taco Tuesday. And remember, keep the notifications on in case we get a chase in 7 minutes. I'm going to be hopping back on. So you know how that works. So have a fantastic day. I will see you guys later tonight. On behalf of old Stink Bomb over there and myself, I'm out.
This party is officially over.
Yeah, you guys. I'm a gang.